8 shapes! I haven't even moved my mic over. Welcome to another expedition of the Anime Encyclopedia. I'm a mess. I'm so sorry. I have to like adjust the white balance and shit. Like, geez Louise. I guess that puts a little more light on my face. Man, sorry, fellas. Maybe this will. No. Something like white, like YouTube, Like put a little light on my face. I still look super blue. Anyway, I hope the audio is better. I forgot to turn the audio down all the way. I'm sorry. Although I actually want it in the mix this time. Like, I don't want to just not hear it. But if it's bad, let me know. Well, like I said, I'm a mess. I realized that like I have to. I'm working on this thing for my job. That's gonna need all of my attention for the next 2 weeks. So I actually don't know if the videos that I wanted to get out this month are even gonna be, because I haven't even written them yet. Like, I've just been working on other stuff and I've taken it a little lax like lately. I've been waking up late and I need to figure things out. So I need to wake up early for first part, and then let me know if the mix is good, please. I'm gonna talk a little more, but like my day. No. Hey, Greg. I just need to like. I need to do better. Better time management. Figure things out. It took me too long just to do this little. I had this little bit of work that I had to do before getting on stream, and that's why I'm like right on the cusp, like just barely made it, kind of deal. So I had to finish that, and then after this stream, I might do a little work. I don't know, but we'll see. This reading is the rest of the C section, the rest of C for the first edition. I like how I'm happy how we plowed through this. I really want to try to squeeze in one more stream before it gets crazy with the holiday season. I do want to do one more stream. Good evening. I'd probably make music quieter. I'm biased. I don't want to not hear it. I don't want it to go quiet. Let me know if you can't hear it. I don't want to I don't want to have no music. That's the thing. I have to go back to I have to always go back through the VOD and add timestamps, and I'm always pissed that I put the volume too low on the music, and I hear it on my end, but then on the OBS thing, it never comes up. So I'm just like, ugh. Not that it's a huge deal, but I'm finished reading Slam Dunk. I really liked it, but I wish there was more of off-the-court characterization. Also, the ending is pretty abrupt. Honestly, it's not abrupt if you know if it's coming, which I get if you were reading it week to week back in the 90s. I can imagine a lot of people being really what? That's it? But if you're on the last volume, how all the matches have played this far, there's not going to be a whole lot after the game. And that's fine. And did you read 10 Days After? That's the epilogue chapter that was not published in Jump, that Inoue went to a school and drew in chalk a bunch of these four coma pages for an epilogue chapter, which was really interesting, where he's setting up a lot of stuff that it could have kept going, but I didn't want it to keep going. I think it made sense where it was. I love the ending. That's all I'll say about it. Good evening, gamers. Hello, Cozy. Let's get into this. I don't want to go for another. I don't want to make this a 3-hour stream. I really don't. Like last time, even that was the 3rd edition. So this is the first edition that has some changes and stuff. So we need to move with this. The movie's visuals are going to be god tier for Slam Dunk. I hope. We'll see. Let's find out. I can't wait. I'm trying to keep my expectations. Anyway, let's get on to the notes. I wish I could have the chat I wish I could have the chat show up a little more often like that, just so in case the VOD goes down for a copyright strike. I'm not going to play OPs anymore. That was a nightmare. I don't want to deal with that again. So, yeah, but anyway. Yeah, notes. Right to then. Did I split them up? Yes. Okay. It's so many notes. Let's make this a little smaller. You can read that still. I'm looking on stream. Yeah, you can read that still. Yeah. Okay. A little bigger. I'm like, that's a little small for me personally. I've heard about the epilogue chapter. I guess I can find it online. Yeah, it should be with at least the rip that I had, like the downloading the manga, it was included actually the 10 days after, but I'm sure you could find it. Yeah. When your mangaka is directing, it usually looks god tier. Let's hope. We'll see. Monkey Punch. You can't really say that about Lupin Dead or Alive. Lupin Dead or Alive looks okay, but it's not Cagliostro. Like Lupin, like it came out okay, but Monkey Punch was the director of that one. I'm like, yeah. This looks like looking to licensing in TV anime for Slam Dunk, please. I don't know if this is like a. It's probably not gonna happen, is what I'll say. If anybody does it, it has to be Viz. Obviously, like it makes sense for Viz to do that, and there will be opportunity there once the movie is coming out. Like they'll be like, oh, let's try it again. Maybe I can see Viz releasing it. I don't think Discotech would, for reasons I don't think I can say because they're confidential. Anyway, so let's go to the changes. Changed coercion, kyohaku, to blackmail, and I think I made a point of that in another stream, and that was just and that's an instance where like you literally changed it to a completely different point. It was just two different English words. I don't know where they got the localization coercion from, but like this is a very clear instance where you could have just used the Japanese name and none of this would have changed. Like I guess it's not that big of a deal, and this is like a hentai or something, and it's like nothing OVA, like who cares? But like they have this like big strain of like, oh, the encyclopedia, like they literally say like life isn't difficult enough for the anime encyclopedists. Like you put this on yourselves. You were the one that decided to make it localization titles because it's an English encyclopedia. But like just order it. I don't know, whatever. And like you could have whatever. Moved College Chronicle Murio to Shingu, Secret of the Stellar Wars. It's a totally different name, so they changed that title. Colorful, they added a sentence not to be confused with Colorful the Motion Picture. Motion Picture came out after the first edition, so that's why. Colorful is that 90s ecchi series that Bennett just talked about. Columbus, there's a new paragraph about the 2002 Bokenmono. Bokenmono? I don't remember that. Oh yeah, so like Columbus, it's like this Columbus anime, and then there's a different Columbus anime from 2002 that's also about Christopher Columbus, and they just added that in there. It's like, oh yeah, there's this one too. Whatever. Combattler V, they added a paragraph about it being the first of Nagahama's robot trilogy, because yeah, the first edition just doesn't mention that it's one of the fucking. I just got a little chills. Like, oh, I shouldn't have sworn. I'm sorry. I want to find it actually. They don't have any mention of it, but like that's great that there was a mention. But it's interesting. Maybe somebody told them that there should have been a mention. You know. Combattler. I could just control F it, but it's such a pain. But this is also a pain. I'm just trying to find it. Sorry. Yeah, oh, okay. There we go. Sorry, I'm just literally just flipping through the encyclopedia right now to find it. Combattler. Oh my god. There we go. The first of director Nakahama's Romance Super Robot trilogy, followed by Voltus and Starbirds. I think he's talking about Deimos. Creation is credited to the director and Saburo Yade, who would go on to be the house pseudonym responsible for the live-action Super Sentai series that hit its peak with the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. That's it. And I'm like, that's fine. But like, it's nice that there was a mention, I guess. But it's interesting that another one of those anime collection, like they have no mention of anime rama that I can find. And I was starting to think about it, and I'm like, maybe that just was a fan term or something. Maybe that's just like a colloquialism. It's like, does Yamamoto ever refer to them as anime rama? Is there a project? Like, I have to look at Japanophile's video on anime rama again. Maybe it's there or something. I don't remember what that terminology comes from, to be honest with you. Maybe it just wasn't a thing. And I get, like, you know, not putting that colloquial shit in. It has to be, like, cited, you know? I get that. Conan the Boy Detective. Yeah, that's what they call Detective Conan. New paragraph about the 2004 English localization. And there's new bits about U.S. localization of movies. And they cut his latest from the 5th movie. They also added a bit about the 9/11 parallels and added In Tokyo to Twin Towers. So that it's kind of interesting. Not like a, you know, it is what it is. I get it. But it was an interesting that they changed it. Like, this clearly came out before 9/11, the first encyclopedia. Conan the Boy Detective. So they have this paragraph here. His most recent movie is Countdown to Heaven, 2001, in which a secret society causes mayhem at the inauguration party of the new high-tech Twin Towers. And that's all they say. And so you read that in literally any other time after September 11th, and you're just like, what? You know? But actually, it's the Twin Towers in Tokyo. Conan the Boy Detective. Let me read the new... Conan's first... No. Where is it? Oh, yeah. Countdown to Heaven, 2001, with unfortunate synchronicity considering the 9/11 atrocities, features a secret society causing mayhem at the inauguration party of the new high-tech Twin Towers in Tokyo. So they add that part. And they're like, it's in Tokyo. It's the ones in Tokyo. I'm like, oh. Yeah, that was an interesting addition. Yeah, and then the little bits like that. There's a big paragraph that continues describing the 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, skips the 10th. They describe the 11th movie, the 14th movie, the 16th movie, the 17th movie. They also talk about the Lupin special, some spin-off videos, and also how China only allows few movies, and one is specifically Conan's. And they also added the, I don't know if I wrote that down. They added another sentence at the end of the Conan section that's kind of weird, but I'll save that for odd choices because I'm pretty sure that's in there. Are you ready for Urusei Yatsura remake? And it's not confirmed, right? I did hear about it, but a little bit, but we'll see we'll wait and see if it happens. I'm sure. I mean, 40th anniversary of the anime. You know what I mean? Is that what they're celebrating? But like, the year's over. Like, this should have happened by now. I guess they were like delayed or something. This was supposed to be for the 40th anniversary. Like, but I don't know if it was confirmed yet. I haven't seen it. And how China only allows few movies. That was interesting. How China only allows few movies, and one of them is specifically Conan's. I didn't know about this. This is interesting. Where is it? Among the tiny quota of 35 foreign films permitted to reach Chinese cinemas each year, which I didn't know there was a quota. Interesting. Hollywood, Bollywood, Disney, and Pixar have always had to leave one slot for Conan and another for Naruto, making it one of the truly best-selling anime franchises. That was interesting. Wait, what? The 40th anniversary of the anime already happened. Exactly. I'm just like, what? I've seen 70 episodes of UI, still a lot left to see. Oh yeah, but you can take your time with it. It took me like 2 or 3 years to finish it. Granted, because I was stuck on episode 78 for the majority of that time. I haven't heard there were rumors of a UI anime. Interesting. Yeah, it's something with like David Production, because like there's something that Kevin was speculated, was like kind of hinting at earlier. Oh no. Oh, no. Okay. I should have the notes over here. Like, what am I doing? Sorry, the little technical wonkiness. I should have the notes right here so it looks like I'm reading them. Dummy. It's me, dummy. All right. And then I can have the thing right here so I don't have to keep clicking off. That's why I have 2 screens. Sheesh. But I still have to. Damn it! Do I need a third screen now for fucking streaming? Jeez Louise. Or maybe I shouldn't have OBS open. I want OBS open. Are you kidding? That's crucial. I don't know. Seems crucial. I guess I'll put it over here. But then, does that work? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Sorry. Little technical things. Anyway. Yeah. Conan up here. Yeah, so that was interesting. Cool buy. They cut from Dunbine's Kogawa, and they changed director, script, design, and animation Yukien Kogawa to Tomonori Kogawa. So like I've said before, I don't analyze script. Not script, but like the little blurbs at the top that give the director and the, sometimes I spy it because it's like, oh, I know that's a Dazaki title or an Ikuhara title, so I like gazing at that a little bit where the staff are particularly notable. But usually I don't like scrutinize it and look at the first and third editions. But I wanted to look at Dunbine's Kogawa, and I'm like, why did they cut that line? They just scrap saying from Dunbine's Kogawa. And I look it up, and I'm like, oh, it's a different Kogawa, because I look at the name. I was like, oh, Kogawa. Well, what's his first name? I look at the third edition, and I look in the first edition actually, and it's Yukien Kogawa. And then I came across that it's a different name. So let me show you this. So Yukio Kogawa doesn't even show up actually. I remember this. Like if you just Google Yukio Kogawa, Yukien Kogawa, you get 8 results. You literally get 8 results. One of them being the Anime Encyclopedia, where it's like this thing over here, and it's Yukien Kogawa and Tomonori Kogawa. So like it design. Wait a minute, Greed. So this is 85 OVA called Greed. Not the character, you dummy. It's me, dummy. Yeah, so those are Kogawa designs. That's Tomonori Kogawa. And he's also credited for character design as well as the other stuff. So they have this listing in the 3rd edition where but his name's also in there. Tomonori Kogawa, but why is this name any different? Is it a pen name? What's going on? That was interesting. Needless to say. Yeah. Okay. Let me pull up literally everything again. Oh, I have to. Let me put this over here. Okay, just like that. And then I'm just not gonna. I want to check my Twitter notifications, but not now. I'm streaming. Give some composure. Anyway. I hadn't heard there were. Was Yasuhime's existence, it is possible for UI to return as well. I knew about the Chinese movie quota. They've always used access to their market as diplomatic leverage. Not cool. I keep doing that. All right, hold on. I have to. There it is, right there. Yeah. What does? Oh, that's something else. Get out. Get out. Kind of weird now because I put it on a different screen is why my other monitor is smaller. Sorry for the kind of again, I'm a mess today. They probably could not read the kanji correctly for Kogawa, maybe, or it was written incorrectly, or cited a different magazine. I don't know. Just something to point out. Let's see. Yeah, so that was weird. Cool devices. They changed 1 girl to 2, added much to their eventual regret, and a sort of to 11. number 11. Considerable changes of number 10 summary, including hack writer to magazine writer. Oh, Cool Devices is like another one of those hentai compilations, like Cream Lemon, I think. Cool Devices, where am I? Go down. Yeah, it's an umbrella title for some erotic stories and stuff like that. And of course, they go on to describe in detail, like, pretty much every single one of them. It's like, okay. So little small addition, tweaks like that. Considerable changes of number 10 summary, including changing hack writer to magazine writer. Yeah, so that was interesting. Corrector Yui, they changed Kia Asamiya's first anime for girls to Keiko Okamoto's manga for girls. Yeah, this is interesting. This is a little bit of a find. Let me explain. Allow me to explain. Corrector Yui. There we go. Let me pull up I know Wikipedia is not a very good source, gentlemen and ladies. I keep doing this. There we go. Okay. Corrector Yui. So the point of contention here, it was created by Kia Asamiya, and the manga that they're talking about is this 5-volume one from Keiko Okamoto. So the overall creator is Kia Asamiya, and then Keiko, like, you look at this description of the manga. I don't know, Wikipedia's not a good source, blah blah blah. I get it. There's 2 editions of the series. The original was written and drawn by Kia Asamiya. This one's weird because this is contradictory to the information up here, because it says that the Keiko manga is from April to December of '99, and then the Kia manga is from September to October. So like those dates don't necessarily match up to like what this is saying. So this is not a great source or anything, but I'm just saying, like, where are these 2 completely different names coming from? This, I think, is the source of the confusion. And published by, whatever. Yeah, is the shoujo artist by Keiko Okamoto is a manga adaptation of the anime series. And so, Corrector Yui, in the first edition, and this is an instance where I think the first edition actually got this right, and the third edition is what kind of corrects it to something that's like, wait, that doesn't sound right. Corrector Yui. Okay. Where is it? Yeah. Mixing elements of his earlier compiler with Disney's Tron, Kia Asamiya's first anime for girls is a surprisingly old-fashioned affair. And then you go to the third edition. Mixing elements of compiler with Disney's Tron, Keiko Okamoto's manga for girls turns into a surprisingly old-fashioned affair in its anime incarnation. So they give credit to Keiko Okamoto. They actually completely erase Kia Asamiya's involvement. He's not even in the staff listing on the third edition. So if you read this article in isolation, you would have no idea that Kia Asamiya was involved. But compiler that they reference here in the article, mixing elements of his earlier compiler. Let me pull that up. Which like doesn't have a visual to it, but it's a manga series written and illustrated by Kia Asamiya, and it has an OVA. Let me pull up the OVA. So this is kind of a weird situation. You know what I mean? No. Compiler. Don't look like a hentai. Yeah. So this is original creator Kia Asamiya. He's also the original creator, compiler, and corrector Yui. So like they completely obscure, obfuscate or obscure that this is from the same guy. And they instead credit it to the manga from Keiko Okamoto, which at least according to Wikipedia is sorry, is the fuck is like the manga is that she wrote is based on the anime, and it's not like it's the original source. Or that might not be the true. Maybe that isn't true. It's just a weird situation. I think it's interesting that there's a different change there. I'm not trying to like get to the bottom of what's right and wrong, or so much as because fact checking is not necessarily the objective of this project, but it is something that I'm just like, that's an interesting difference, and it led me to that discrepancy, I should say. What's the chat gotta say? I knew about that. Yeah, they probably cannot read. Yeah, if you don't know how to read it, you probably read it as you can. Corrector UE is getting fan translated right now. Really? Hasn't gotten to fan. Oh yeah, that does sound familiar. That's crazy. Sorry, my head's so low. I don't think my desk can go any lower. Yeah, I guess that's fine. I also don't sit up straight. That's the other problem. I am very bad. My posture is ass. Of course it is. God damn it. Yeah, so that was weird. Interesting. Countdown is clarification of vignettes. 2001 didn't include descriptions from episode 2B, 3A, or 3B. Oh yeah, that was a weird one. There were so many different weird discrepancies in that. I did my reading 2 days ago, so I'm just refreshing, and I had no time to look at these notes beforehand. I'm sorry. Heavily revised synopsis of the last 3 episodes, and it includes an opinion, and then there's a new added paragraph about U.S. notoriety and distribution history. So the initial list was truncated. So the Countdown had like a significant rewrite, and Countdown's not even like a title that recent. It was from 2000. The OVA is from 1995. So like the first edition had plenty of time. It's a fairly recent title. It's not like a 70s or 60s title, so they don't know much about it or something. But like it's totally different. And they have it labeled as LNV, which is nude violence, and I don't remember what L is supposed to stand for. But I'm pretty sure it's a hentai, or porn, as they say. So I can't give any visuals or like dig that deep, I guess, into it. But yeah, like it was a total mess. Like it was a totally different synopsis and reorganized a lot. There was a significant change, but it's not like a really high profile title, so I don't want to make the stream super long kind of deal. But that was a huge change. Cowboy Bebop. There is a new paragraph further elaborating on the movie, because the movie was just about to come out at the time of the first edition. They give an opinion on it in the third edition, and they also include a little bit about the prequel novel that I guess did come out or didn't come out. I don't remember. A little bit about that though. Ooh, talking about U.S. anime distribution history. Yeah, that's a huge common thing in this encyclopedia. That's the thing they really wanted to focus on, I think, because they know their audience is primarily English speaking. It's an English encyclopedia, right? So I think that was a huge aspect, a huge facet of anime culture at the for fandom, you know what I mean? And that does make the arguments. It's like, if they make such a big point about it, doesn't that lean into the argument that this book is for hardcore fans, or more fans that would care about that sort of thing? It's sort of like you really have to look at all of their choices, as well as what they claim in terms of what they're going for, because that does inform their choices a good deal. But it does lead to some contradictory or some strange choices nonetheless. It's like, so which is it, sort of deal. But yeah, there's a lot of that distribution history in this. Crayon Shin-chan. Oh boy. We'll get to that one. And they added descriptions for movie 10, 11, and 13. They mentioned movie 21 because it was the one that came out at that time in 2013 when the third edition came out. And there's a blurb about the UK and US localization, which is strange. I don't remember if I put this in the odd choices or not. I want to read this little bit. I think I did write that down as an odd choice, but I'm just gonna put it here just in case I forgot. Crayon Shin-chan. Okay, so there's a portion here. when they're talking about one of the movies. In Storm in the Jungle, Shin-chan's family is kidnapped on a southern island, leaving him and Himawari, his baby sister, to rescue them from the afro-haired Funky Monkey army, nicely demonstrating that Shin would have the ability to insult foreign audiences too, if only his English language appearances went further afield than a limited number of subtitled broadcasts on a Hawaiian-Japanese community station. So they're saying that Shin-chan never made it to the United States beyond Hawaiian broadcasting. Which is not what I remember, because I remember there was at least a Funimation DVD release, limited, very limited, like not covering the whole show or anything. But there was a physical release. It did get released in the United States. I think it was dubbed too. Was it? I don't even know. Was it? I think it was on Cartoon Network, because they say that it was on. I think they say it was on. Wait a minute. Oh, they don't specify that specifically. Maybe it wasn't actually on Cartoon Network, and I'm just making that up. But it did have I remember our college's anime club owning a physical copy of Crayon Shin-chan from Funimation. But they have this new paragraph for the 3rd edition, among other things, that say, under the title Shin-chan, part of the TV series was broadcast in the United Kingdom in 2002, and eventually reached the mainland US several years later. So which is it? You literally just put, like, in the 3rd edition here, that it did make it did get a Western distribution in the UK and the US. But you didn't edit it out, the part in the 1st edition that says, nicely demonstrating that Shin would have the ability to insult foreign audiences too, if only his English language appearances went further afield than a limited number of subtitled broadcasts on a Hawaiian Japanese community station. Which is it? That's interesting. Yeah, they don't like that title, and I'll get to their opinion later. I'm not gonna lie, I want more talking about the history of the Japanese side of the anime distribution. As from my perspective, there doesn't seem to be much info. Aside from most Japanese people watch OVAs / anime movies on Laserdisc over VHS. Yeah, I mean, it's probably, there is probably some people that have marked that history maybe, but they probably don't care as much. It's similar to the way that how, like, do we care as much about the Western distribution of anime as we do care about the distribution of American cartoons, right? Like, do we, like, it got released on DVD and this, maybe we do, maybe we're a little OCD like that, but I can imagine it's because it's a domestic thing maybe, and yeah, I don't know. It's not a bad point though. Yeah, so should Shed. They also add a little blurb about how Keiichi Hara directed the colorful motion picture. They literally put Keiichi Hara, who would loyally direct most Shin-chan outings until 2004, found a more serious métier and audience as the director of Colorful the Motion Picture. By métier, they mean profession. That is like calling. It's a word for calling and stuff. That's another word, métier. I have this observation that's kind of silly. It's a little boondoggle. Like, maybe it's a perfectly reasonable word. Maybe it's because it's British or something. But like, you're gonna completely swear off fan argot and jargon. You're not gonna use the word otaku or hentai or these Japanese words to alienate in a ways to not alienate a mainstream English speaking audience, but also maybe because there's disagreement on what these terms actually mean in fandom, because like fans use it one way and its actually meaning is something else. But you're going to completely swear off those titles, even stuff things as OVA, OAV, stuff like that. But then you go on to use words like boondoggle or métier, or like these other words. I'm probably going to keep a running list of words I've never heard of before in my 27, am I 27, 28, 27? Sheesh. Years of life. Never heard it. Maybe because I'm a millennial or something, but like you expect, it was just like a little point of contention for me. I'm just like, are you kidding? Like, you're gonna make this like a big deal about not using these words that are very common in the in the subject matter you're talking about. You're gonna avoid them completely for to be clear and help a new audience. But then you're gonna alienate, like you use words like boondoggle and métier and other things like that. I don't know. It's annoying. Insert Japan Golden Network from Hawaii reference. Yeah. Yeah. Cream Lemon. They added a blurb about the Ami localization in 2001. They also have this sex trap localization moved from the section on Pop Chaser to the section on SF Raw. So like episode 3 of Cream Lemon, or like 3 and 5, it's a whole thing. But like the episode SF Raw was localized as Sex Trap according to the 3rd edition. But in the 1st edition, Sex Trap was Pop Chaser. And the Gonad localization, there's this localization, but it's cheeky and funny. They say SF Legend Ral is a space fantasy in which Carol, an underdressed, sword-wielding warrior maid, stands against an evil overlord who intends to sacrifice the beautiful Princess Orgasma. She would take up the call to adventure in Lamoureux Strikes Back. Both episodes were distributed. This is the part that's cut out. Both episodes were distributed in the U.S. as Gonad the Barbarian and The Search for Uranus in the Brothers Grime animation series. That part's completely cut out. Maybe it was not true. I don't know what happened. But what it was actually localized as is Sex Trap. This blurb where they're saying, where it says, where is it? Under the title Offenders of the Universe, it was combined with Star Trap, an unrelated Star Trek spoof starring the lesbian crew of the USS Mischief, and released in the US as another 2-part video. That chunk is moved from describing Pop Chaser to SF Raw in the 3rd edition, and then they cut off the other one completely, and I guess Pop Chaser was never localized here. Or something. The whole thing, I guess. There was a lot of weird changes. It is a lot. Took kind of a long time reading this. There's a new blurb, and then there's also a new blurb about the 2001-2002 revivals, the 2004-2005 live-action variants of Cream Lemon, and the 2006 remake of Cream Lemon, none of which I've heard of, and they don't really go into any detail about, which is unlike their description of Cream Lemon, which is really long, which I'll go into later. I won't read the whole thing, but yeah. Yeah. Creamy Mommy. There's an added blurb about the anime Souls localization. Cool. Use the word otaku, and if not, at least refer to otaku as anime neats or something like that. Like they have a section in the third edition about argon and jargon, and they describe what otaku means and what moe means and what I don't even know if they say hentai or not. I think they do. Yes. But yes they do, and then they describe etch, which is ecchi. So like all these different terms and stuff like that, but then like, all right. Was this overall the anime Sea Dog VA redubbed? I don't know. Maybe that's interesting. If not, that's a Cream Lemon episode. That's a hentai. That's interesting. Yeah. So Enemy Souls localization. Crest of the Stars. Oh boy, what a shock! We read this on stream, either the last stream or the stream before. Should have read the 1st edition. It was very interesting. They changed Ob Human Reich to Humankind Empire Ob. This is the 1st edition. This is the 3rd edition. They frequently reworded the synopsis of Season 1 to be more precise. There's a lot of specific changes and stuff. They added synopsis of Banner 2, and Banner 3 because those hadn't come out yet in the 1st edition. So this is just Crest of the Stars that this book has, the 1st edition. And there's a wholly different opinion piece. Yes. We have a new changed opinion for Crest of the Stars, and it's a spicy one. We'll get to it later. Crimson Wolf, they changed Chinese Tong Boss to Chinese Triad Boss. Okay. And then Cutie Honey, they added a blurb about the 74 movie, which I guess they didn't know about or didn't think to include in the 1st edition. They moved this chunk. Okay, let me read it. This is the exact same thing that happened with Cream Lemon, but like it's not. It's less about an accurate thing, but more like a it feels more like a subjective paragraph. Okay, there is this little thing here. The immense success. Yeah, so there's this whole paragraph here. The immense success of the TV series rejuvenated the manga, allowing this very male appreciation of the female form to appear in girls' magazines such as Nakayoshi and titles for younger readers such as Happy Zoo. So, like, the weird thing with this article, first off, is they don't seem to realize, at least to my understanding of Cutie Honey, I've seen videos about it, the anime was made in conjunction with the manga, very similar to Mazinger Z, or Getter Robo, or a lot of things that Go Guy worked on at the time, where he would be writing the manga and the anime would be happening almost at the same time, and they'd come out together. I haven't looked myself at the dates yet, but like to my knowledge that was the case. But they write here, based on a short-lived shonen. This is a whole thing for the odd choices, which I'll go into later. But yeah, there's this chunk about how there's this immense success of the TV series and it led to the rejuvenation of the manga. They moved that from referring to the 73 anime, the first anime TV series, which is in the first edition. They moved that to referring to Cutie Honey Flash, which is the 90s series, which is the TV series. They peaked a new TV series, Cutie Honey Flash. And like they moved that paragraph, like this TV series rejuvenated the manga and blah 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 blah. And I'm like, that's a weird move. And you didn't even change the wording at all. Like, did you just get confused? Like, what happened? Did they change? Like, what happened there? Also, like Devilman. Yeah, like, I don't know. Also, but the the champ without look at all those comments. Let's go. You're good. Yeah, they just changed it to to referring to Flash. I'm like, what do you mean? They also cut this little piece. As the video series was translated, bringing Cutie to the West for the first time, so they completely cut that for the third edition. I think they're referring to the 90s series, or as the video series, so they're referring to the OVA New Cutie Honey. Like Shin Cutie Honey, I believe is the name of it. I think so. Yeah, Shin. Yeah, released straight to video. New Cutie Honey. Yeah, New Cutie Honey. I was right. Okay. Yeah, like they cut this little bit out because it's referring to the OVA. I don't know why. Cut 2001 announcement of a CG video directed by Kita Kubo. So in the first edition, they say, in 2001, it was announced that the character would return in a fully 3D CG animated video directed by Hiroyuki Kita Kubo. Interesting. But they cut that completely because I guess it didn't actually happen. Interesting. And then they added a blurb about the 2004 live-action movie that was directed by Anno, and Cutie Honey, which is the OVA from Gainax, Gainax that Anno was also involved with. They say that Anno also directed, but like I could have sworn that each OVA was directed by a different person. I thought it was Imaishi, Anno, and somebody else, but I don't know. Whatever. Sadly, though, they don't refer to the Tokusatsu series either. Oh well. But do they complain about Kyuti versus Kyuti making life hard for the encyclopedists? No, they don't make that mention. But they do spell it as Cutie Honey with a Y. Where is it again? God damn it! They do spell it with Cutey honey. So they don't make any mention. They're like, no, that la 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 la. Or maybe, yeah, I guess CH. Yeah, they oh, they're Cutie, and yeah, they always spell it as Cutey. All right. Moving on. Kata's story is entirely rewritten. It is entirely rewritten. I'm like, what happened? Cutter's story. Oh yeah, this is interesting. I gotta read. This is the only time I'll probably mention this article, so I'm gonna touch on this now. Let me find Cutter story. Yeah, Cutter's story. Oh, so Cutter's story is in the first edition, and it's called Cutta's story. Cutta apostrophe S story in the third edition. Dreams and adventure await in this movie funded by a... And that's where the similarities end. Here's the first edition. All right. Dreams and adventure await in this movie funded by the state coffers of Yamaguchi Prefecture. Although how the local government thought it was helping its taxpayers by producing this fictional tale about a giant genetically engineered peach-colored pelican at the local zoo, who can say? That's it. This came out in 98. This movie came out in 98. What? That's even different. I'm just looking at this right now. Oh my god. I have to add this. Changed Cutter's story to Cutta's story. Changed year from 1998 to 1995. They got the year wrong. Did they get it? The staff seems right. Everything else seems right. Oh, crazy. The third edition. Okay, here's put in perspective. Here's the entire first edition one. It's literally just that. It's just that. Little paragraphs. And then cut a story. Let me get this real quick. Let me hold on. Is all of this on the right, and all of the all of that? It's a much bigger article. I don't want to just read it to you, but like I'll read it, but like I just wanted to give you the visual of how drastic the difference is here. You can see the difference. It's crazy. Awaits in this movie funded by a cluster of worthy ornithological, zoological, pedagogical, and tourist organizations, dramatizing the life of Kutta, a pelican that resides on the Pelican Island of Ube City's Tokiwa Park Zoo. Artificially incubated after his parents and nest were washed away in a storm, Kutta becomes a favorite with the local children, particularly Sho, a lonely boy whose parents are away in Arabia. Kutta and Sho become an inseparable pair, riding the carousel together and even winning the annual three-legged race. With war breaking out in the Middle East, Kutta offers to fly Sho to the Persian Gulf to check in on his parents, where his superpowers do not extend to being bulletproof, although he does display the ability to project death rays from his mouth in order to keep Iraqi tanks out of his ancestral wetlands. Eventually, Sho is left wondering whether it was all a dream, as the full-grown Kutta faces the prospect of returning to the wild. Despite some media claims to have been funded by private donations, the largest investor of this insane film appears to have been the tourist board of Yamaguchi Prefecture, which is what they reference in the first edition. Awaiting this movie funded by the state coffers of Yamaguchi Prefecture, although how the local government thought it was helping its taxpayers by producing this fictional tale about a giant genetically engineered peach-colored pelican at the local zoo, who can say? It was real! It was based on a real pelican! Presumably hoping to persuade the people of the world that Yamaguchi was the best place in Japan to find hallucinogenic drugs. They're still very, kind of dismissive of the film, which is fair. That was a kind of a wild synopsis, kind of batshit, death rays out of a pelican type of deal, but respect. Animated film, in my opinion. The real-world bird that inspired this film was indeed Japan's first artificially incubated pelican, named for Calcutta, where his parents hailed from. We are tempted to complain about lack of realism regarding world geography, but then again, see above death rays. While he never quite won a three-legged race or was embedded with Desert Storm, his hand-reared ease with human beings made him famously approachable, and he became something of a celebrity for his habit of dancing to a song sung by local children. Although the film might seem at first like a bizarre boondoggle, that's where the boondoggle kind of like a bizarre boondoggle. I'm like, did you make that up? Did you make that word up? No, they didn't. Boondoggle. I looked it up. Work or activity that is wasteful or pointless but gives the appearance of having value. That's the name. That's what a boondoggle is. Bizarre boondoggle. There was some method in the investor's madness, as the design for it was immediately repurposed and reused on tourist materials, including the sides of Ube City buses for many years. Ikeda himself died in 2008 at the age of 23, a proud grandfather. So, like, it's like shocking how completely dismissive they are in the first edition of this film, the 75-minute film. And then they give it this way more elaborate explanation in the third edition. This third edition is exactly what they should have done. And they had no reason not to, because this film came out in 95, which, they thought it was 98. Still not 2001, where you don't have enough information about it. It's not like it hadn't come out yet. It had come out for a little while. And this is what you write about it. What the fuck? That's all you say about it. Seriously? You know? Re Cutie Honey is directed by Imaishi. Ano did episode 1 of it. Yeah, they say it was also directed by Ano. Oops. Yeah, my Mal said it was 95 and it's Kata Monogatari, not Kata. Yeah, they spell it as Cutta because it's named after Calcutta. Which of course there's no C in the Japanese language. I guess there's technically a C in the chi, but whatever. It's yeah, that's the hiragana of it. AnimeDB says, due to its hilariously ridiculousness, this movie achieved cult status in Japan. Interesting. Yo, did I miss anything? Well, we're going over the changes right now. There's nothing too absurd, like insane. Although there's a lot of odd choices that you'll be lucky to stick around for. Pertinent to stick around for, I should say. Lucky. Oh. Sorry, just have importance. Yeah, okay. Cyber City Oedo, there's another change. They added a 2000. There's 2000. Yeah, they added 2004 episode title localizations. They're like, in 2004 it was localized to this. This episode was localized to this title. I don't know why. Maybe for clarity's sake. They also cut this word called Sengoku's name means literally civil war. I didn't look into this myself. Not like a Japanese, I've done some Japanese, but like I'll give you the context where that's from. Where is it? I gotta look up. Since Sengoku's name means literally civil war, the characters all carry jite parrying weapons modeled on those used by samurai-era police, and the titler 808 recalls the 808 districts of Old Edo. We can assume that the anime was originally intended as a sci-fi pastiche of old stories, particularly possibly in the style of Samurai Gold. And so, like, they cut out that part that says, since Sengoku's name means literally civil war, which I guess it doesn't mean that. Or they didn't find it pertinent enough. I imagine they cut it because it's wrong. That would be my guess. But maybe not. Or it contradicts what they're trying to say as being a sci-fi pastiche or something. I don't know. But that was a cut. Interesting. And then Cyborg 009 added a little bit. They later adapted. They added this bit right here. Later adapted as 00901. And there's a new paragraph on the 2001 series and the 2012's Re-Cyborg, which is interesting. We'll get to that. There's a similar situation earlier. We'll get to this. But there's a little interesting thing they say there. It's just like, wait, what? Interesting. Yeah, anyway. So there's a little, some new entries and things like that. Co-ed Affairs from 1998. Cowboy Yasamu, the Takahata series, that doesn't have subs, and Cybuster from '99. Those are all things from 2001 that could have been in the first edition, but are in the third edition. They weren't present in this first one. There is a removed entry. It's this title called Cold Gehenna from 2001. Now I tried doing some digging. I could not find anything. You know what? I found some listings online of a 2001 series called Cold Gehenna. It was an anime series, but they give a synopsis, but they don't list any staff credits. There's just a producer listed called, say, Public and Basic and Animax. So if you look up like Cold Gehenna Animax, like Animax 2001 or whatever, like that kind of mix. Because if you look up Gehenna, it's a general word for like the lower levels of hell, and you find some like Trails of Cold Steel articles, blah 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 blah. So you won't find too much just typing in Cold Gehenna. Maybe Cold Gehenna anime you'd find a little more. But like there's a synopsis here, and I'll read it. Cold Gehenna. Where is it? Yes. Okay, Cold Gehenna. Let me just... Yeah. Cold Gehenna. This one right over here. Sorry, is that it? Oh, wait, so it's on this page. I'm sorry. I try not to do this too often. But this is like weird lost media shit. I was tempted to actually ask Kenny Lauderdale about this, TBH. So there's this thing, Cold Gehenna. As you see there at the top, 2001 TV series, no director, no script, no design, no animation, no music, no produce. There is a producer listed, Public and Basic and Animax. It's 25 minutes, 12 or more episodes. Again, it's from 2001, so it's one of those things like Akihabara Shopping Log, where it hadn't come out yet. They just had a synopsis that was published. They write, the moon is destroyed in a terrible cataclysm, forming a ring around the Earth and bringing drastic climate changes. The world is now chiefly desert and frozen wastes, while fearsome dragons have occupied what little of the temperate zones remain. Humans, eking an existence in the barren areas, build the Deadly Drive, in caps, Deadly Drive, an 18-meter robot designed to rid them of the dragon menace. Q Barn, B-A-R-N, the hero who will pilot it, and Alice, capital A-L-I-C-E, the tiresomely predictable, mysterious girl who holds the key to victory. So the thing that I want to point out here that's kind of interesting, besides the fact that this is nowhere in the third edition, you look up Gehenna, there's not a single result. And there's no Japanese alternative title that they list here in this encyclopedia. So if Gehenna doesn't show up, it's either renamed something else. I also looked up Barn and I couldn't find anything. I'm gonna look up again, or Alice. You know, if you look up Barn, there's 3 results. Barnum Studio, closer to Barney than Jurassic Park, young rookie Barnaby Bunny Brooks. There is no other Barn in the entire third edition. Unless the character's name changed to, and it's such a generic sounding synopsis that, yeah, I can understand if maybe it'd be hard to kind of piece it together. But there are listings. There's no images. I was trying to look for a promotional image or something. There's nothing. I can't find anything. There was one stray weird thing that I looked on Google, but I couldn't. I'm not a very good digger at these sorts of things. I wonder if it got canceled before even airing. It's called Gehenna. Called Gehenna? Let me put that in called Gehenna Dengeki Wiki. Oh, okay. It's a manga. There you go. Yeah. And the public, like the volume, it was a light. I'm sorry, it was a light novel. It's not a manga. Yeah. Kodu Gehenna. Yeah, so they thought it was cold Gehenna. Korudo. Yeah, that it was Korudo, so they thought it was cold, but it's called Gehenna. Thank you. Perfect. Let me get that visual up here. Let me put it in the... Oh, I hate having to do this. Let's find it. Having to put all these tabs in junk. Yeah, it's this thing. Go away. Yep. Deadly Drive. We got it. Burn. DJ Burn. It's not Barn. Barn. Oh, jeez. I guess that's Alice. Sheesh. Yeah, I guess there was an anime that was planned. Too bad. Dengeki Bunko. Yeah, thanks for finding that, dude. Victor, that was great. Synopsis sounds painfully generic for its time. Yeah, sure. Japanese Wiki has the synopsis. Is apparently won the Light Novel Prize. Has this author done anything else? I don't know. Let's see. Gakuto Mikumo. This is the Light Novel Wiki or something? Ashura Cryan and Strike the Blood. Awesome. That's what he's worked on. It was his debut work. Called Gehenna was his debut work. We're finding out new things every day. So that was interesting. That is the first deleted, removed entry from the first to the third edition. It must have been canceled. Can't think of anything else. Ah, no, it's not Lost Media. A light novel written by Gakuto Mikumo. Strike the Blood guy. Yeah. Wow. Ashura Cryan and Strike the Blood. Strike the Blood. Let's go. Had a drama CD in 2001. Oh, perhaps. Interesting. My throat. I think I got throat cancer like Mitsuki. I got throat cancer like if I had a fucking cipher. I thought about it, but I cannot bring myself. I've done a few ciphers, but all of them I've really taken them way too seriously. I can never bring myself to make over anime references. It's fairly hard for me. I just can't do the little quips like that. Little quips. Anyway, about an hour in, we're into opinions. Okay, good. I really hope I go a little under 2 hours. I might have to crank these a little bit. The numbers are still kind of funky. I have to look at them again. I think now that once I'm done with C 3rd edition, I'll probably recount things. But there's 4 new positive reviews. The dash is 1st edition and the asterisks are 3rd edition. The Cockpit, superb animation and thoughtful script. It's a triumph of anime. Nice. Did make me really want to check that out. Their description of it and their really glowing praise for it. It really got me to want to watch it. I had heard of it before, but that was one of the titles I'll talk about later where I was like, I'm really interested in seeing this title now. Thank you. Coup of the Far Seas was a positive review. Charming film, greatly helped by ravishing backgrounds. Okay, haven't heard of it. Countdown is positive. Notable for its beautiful art, extensive use of stills, and a minimal animation. It was fairly positive. I don't think anything there was more mixed than it could have been. Yeah, even though I think it's a hentai thing. I don't know. And then Cowboy Bebop, of course, one of the most entertaining shows of the '90s. And I thought it was a decent article for that too. I did like that article, a fair deal of their description of it and such. Not too cynical. Has a fair deal of actual, information. I think it had one thing, like it talks about the Japanese broadcast, which is interesting, of how like only a certain number of episodes ended up ever being broadcast on television. Where are you, cowboy? Why can't I find you? Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if you like this. Spike is a hero cast in the mold of Lupin III, a good-hearted man operating at the edge of the law, betrayed by an old flame and still nursing his wounded heart. I see. It's not that bad. I guess it's a fine synopsis. A description. Show itself varies wildly in tone. Yeah, this is a really nice bit. From the outset, maybe you've heard this. From the outset, director Watanabe cut much of the exposition from the original script, preferring to give the impression that the viewers were watching the show in 2072, and that no explanations would be necessary. The idea of watching a pulp TV show from 100 years in the future truly adds to the experience, a mood retained for the fake Martian radio broadcast Music for Freelance released on CD. I'm trying to find... Yeah. Though complete in its foreign edition, the entirety of Cowboy Bebop was not shown on Japanese terrestrial television. The opening episode, featuring scenes of drug-taking and John Woo-inspired shootouts, was only broadcast on the more forgiving satellite networks, and the censorious climate post-Evangelion meant that, eventually, only 12 episodes of the complete 26 of the series were seen by the first-run audience. Interesting. I think I had heard about that. There were some interesting things about the broadcast of it, like earlier from like this thread by Build Knuckle. But yeah, that was a good bit. I like this article. It's a very good article. Negative opinions. There are 5 new negative opinions. Condition Green. They missed the point made all too well by Gunbuster that only real TV could afford to be cheesy. Paying audience demanded more, but didn't get it here. Let me give the full thing of what they said. Oh, you took that out of context. Okay. Condition Green. Condition Green. Condition Green. Made straight to video despite the false appearances of 2 25-minute TV episodes per tape, because it's 3 50-minute episodes. Made straight to video despite the false appearance of 2 25-minute TV episodes per tape. Condition Green missed the point made all too well by Gunbuster that only real TV could afford to be cheesy. The paying audience of the video market demanded more, but didn't get it here from former Crying Freeman animator Yamauchi. So I guess because it didn't look good? It was an OVA that didn't look like Gunbuster and therefore bad? Yeah? Damn, crayon slander. Yeah, they don't like that one. Yeah, they were, they don't get it. They're like, why is this fun? Why is this popular? Why is this, like, one of the longest-running animated shows of all time? Huh? Yeah, riddle me that. Riddle me this, Batman. I don't get where they're coming from here. I'll read that again. Condition Green missed the point made all too well by Gunbuster. And, like, also, they're not describing the production anyway else. This is literally all synopsis. And then says, made straight to video, despite the false appearance of 2 25-minute TV episodes per tape, missed the point all too well by Gunbuster that only real TV could afford to be cheesy. Do you mean cheesy in a visual sense? Cheesy in a narrative? Like, what are you talking about? And why bring up made all too well by Gunbuster? I guess I have to read their fucking blog about Gunbuster to find out. unless I can't. Unless like they don't even mention what are they talking about? I don't get it. Weird. Cool Bye they didn't like. Forgettable title. Adds insult to injury by bulking the runtime with a making of special. Wasn't this the VHS era? Are you gonna complain about that I don't think you... I think they make it like it's a questionable choice with Cypher when Cypher does that. But like Dragon Heaven does that too. And they can complain about that. It's a special feature. Where are you gonna put special features on a VHS? At the end of the tape. What is it? Like, is it the animation and then there's the special in the middle of it? Is it the end before the credits play? Or is it after the credits and it's clearly an extra bonus feature? And where else do you put a bonus feature on a VHS? At the end, if you have room on the tape, right? What are you talking about? Like, insult to intro. Pants up the runtime. Like, what? I think what they said with Cypher. They weren't bothered by it, obviously. The running time is bulked out with the self-indulgent making of Cypher the video, recycling some footage for a third time, featuring interviews with the crew and live-action shots from the New York location hunt that informed some of the admittedly picturesque images of the city. As a bonus, the video also includes Cypher's other animated appearance. So they know it's a bonus. But like that technically runs out because that making of special of the commercial it's embedded in the special feature. It's embedded in the making of Cypher the video. But like it bulks out the runtime. Is it because like the back of the box says that? They're like, oh, but they're not looking at that. They're not discerning anything. And so it's not like the fault of the animation that they're like, oh, they bulked up the runtime. Is it? I don't get it. It's a weird complaint is what I'm trying to say. I keep hitting desktop instead of full screen. I want to read the comments and then show the comments on screen. Damn Crayon Slender. I feel like they wouldn't care if a show they liked had a bunch of scenes features. I know, had a behind the scenes features, right? That'd be fun, yeah. You know, I try not to like, oh, they're hypocrites or something, but like there are some contradictory choices in this, so like I'm not trying to paint them as hypocrites. I don't want to like be malicious like that. What I'm trying to say is you're making some contradictory choices is what I'm saying. So that would be kind of like a double standard situation if they were to do that. Crayon Shin-chan. Well, let me read this wonderful article. Shinosuke Shin-chan Nohara is the ultimate brat, a loud, noisy kid prone to impersonating elephants with his genitals, peeking up teachers' skirts, and tormenting his stupid dog. His harassed mother turns a blind eye, his teachers despair, and a cast of zany regulars turn this nasty cartoon into a hellish look at the world through the eyes of a spoiled child. Most episodes, and I'm not trying to like inflect my voice to like really that's just the wording you use. That's just how you word it. And that's the synopsis for this fucking show. Really? Like, it's probably kind of accurate, but like you're literally only listing the nastiest things. And then clearly there has to be like so here's the thing. I've only seen Crayon Shin-chan movie 9. And it's one of the best anime movies I've ever seen. And their description of it is god awful. They haven't seen it. They're reading the back of the book. Like the magazine thing. They haven't seen the movie. Most episodes are divided into 3 smaller, unrelated chapters, giving just enough time to set up accidents with snot, panty flashing, and bratty behavior. At school, 2 prissy female teachers are engaged in a constant war of one-upmanship, not realizing that their pupils are manipulating their jealousies for their own ends. A bright, bouncy new teacher refuses to be downhearted at the utter chaos that confronts her, and the headmaster gets angry at being constantly mistaken for a gangster. Out in the wider world, Shin's family and neighbors are also subject to ceaseless torment. He even persists in getting the teenager Shinobu fired from every job she takes, and, though he is the bane of her life, can never remember her name. There are even parodies of anime shows. School super jock Kawamura is obsessed by the non-existent show Action Kamen, Action Mask, while Shin religiously watches an insane Gundam parody called Kuntum Robo. Created by Utsui for Manga Action Magazine in 1990, Shin-chan caused a stir in Japan when it was claimed that up to 68% of children under 12 were avid viewers of this show, supposedly made for adults who would get the joke. Unfortunately, the joke backfired, with complaints in the Japanese media that an entire generation of Japanese children was growing up to be lecherous evil menaces. The Crayon Shin-chan movies were genuinely aimed at a juvenile audience, albeit one that had grown up watching the series. In Action Kamen vs. Evil High Leg, 1993... Let me stop you right there. The first movie in which the people who grew up, as in like a couple years have passed. The show came out in 1992. The first movie, like, I get like in 20 movies later, which they have made more than 20 movies of Shin-chan, yes, at that point you've grown up watching this series. The Crayon Shin-chan movies were genuinely aimed at a juvenile audience, albeit one that had grown up watching the series. So grown up, like, in a few months? Like, what do you mean? Like, it's bizarre. You list it right here. There's 391 episodes from 1992. Like, they grew up now, but this first movie came out in 93. And I believe the series is still going. At least the movies are still going, I think. Like, what do you expect? Let me just keep reading this, because it's like, I have to read this entire article to really just illustrate the point that they clearly don't like this show. They're giving completely unflattering synopses of the whole show and of every single movie that they talk about, which is a strategy they have here, where they're just describing each of the... If there's like a long-running franchise of movies, or like a bunch of movies, they're describing every single movie. In Action Kamen vs. Evil High Leg, 1993, the entire cast is forced to wear skimpy swimsuits by a bad king, while in Secrets of Buri Land, 1994, so the second movie, they are packed off to the South Sea island of Buri Buri, which is in parentheses says Japanese for annoying. In Adventures in Henderland, 1996, they skip to the fourth movie, a simple trip to the titular amusement park finds Shin foiling a gay warlock's bid to become ruler of the world. Shin's baby sister, Himawari, had her debut in The Search for the Black Balls, 1997, which is the... If I can do math, 1, 2, 4, the fifth movie, which also featured a cameo role for creator Usui. Attack War of the Pigs trawler, which is the sixth movie, embroiled the Nohara family in a vendetta between two secret societies. I think that's the only synopsis so far that doesn't sound unflattering. I guess the baby sister one had her debut. That was also kind of okay. It was neutral. It wasn't flattering. It was neutral. It wasn't unflattering. It was neutral. Embroidered in the secret societies, and that's fine. Neutral is kind of what we were expecting. Neutral is kind of what you would want from an encyclopedia, right? Impartial. Dazzling Hot Springs, Wars, and Paradise Made in Saitama split the feature format into two chapters, a traditional vacation episode and a cyberspace pastiche. In Storm of the Jungle, Shin-chan's family is kidnapped on a southern island, leaving him and Himawari to rescue them from an afro-haired funky monkey army, nicely demonstrating that Shin would have the ability to insult foreign audiences too. And their two is in, you know, like, oh, it insulted Japanese audiences, which is why the little behind the scenes blurb that they include for Shin-chan is that in 1990, it caused a stir in Japan when it was claimed that 68% of children under 12 were avid viewers of this show, supposedly made for adults who would get the joke, and the joke backfired. But like, the show is still running. Isn't it still running? To this day? If only his English said the number of Yeah, the whole Hawaiian Japanese community station. His most recent outing is The Storm is Calling, The Adult Empire Strikes Back, 2001. It's the 9th movie. This is the only Shin-chan movie I've seen, in which Shin-chan and his iconoclastic bunch run amok in a... What the hell does iconoclastic even mean? I'm a dum-dum, I guess. Iconoclastic, characterized by attack on cherished beliefs or institutions. A fresh, even an iconoclastic influence could work wonders. So it's kind of like a shocking new thing. Iconoclastic bunch run amok in a 20th century theme park, ruining their elders' nostalgia trip. Somewhat ironic, considering the series has been announced for so long, considering the series has been around for so long that some of the original under 12 audience may now have brats of their own. Yeah, so they're talking about how this movie came out 9 years after the Shin-chan came out. Like, wait a minute, 9 years? They're 21. Like, if they're under 12 audience, that means they're like 21 at least. At the max, at under 12. So the maximum age you're saying is that they could be is 12. Under 12, the original under 12 audience may now have children of their own. 12 plus 9 years. I hate to be splitting hairs here. You're saying they're 21 and they may now have brats of their own. I guess. But also to just completely mischaracterize this movie as they're running amok in a fucking theme park and that's it. No, like, it's a much better movie than you're giving it credit for. That's all I'll say. Just saying. Trying not to make it all my personal opinion. Like, yeah, I like that one and you don't. Like, all right. Let's look at the... Sheesh. Some people talked. I feel like they wouldn't care if a show they liked had a behind the scenes. Yeah. Japanese Wikipedia says something about called Gehenna anime being canceled due to public and basis bankruptcy. Oh, okay. I loved watching Shin-chan as a kid on Adult Swim. I think they're misinterpreting the show. It shows crude humor for bad writing. They're calling the audience man-children. I love Shin-chan. It's a great family sitcom with fun characters and frequently has some really interesting animation. It's got its share of pervy humor, but that's hardly all there is to it. And yeah, the show is still going strong to this day. Too bad the dub ended. So, like, I really want to watch Shin-chan. Not the series, because it's still going. It'd be like saying, oh, I want to watch Saizai-san or whatever. Like, I want to watch One Piece because that's clearly going to have an ending. Like, it's been going for so long, but, like, it's a manga series that, like, he has a projected ending. And it's going to have an ending. Shin-chan can just go however long it wants. And it's also very episodic, so, like, why bother, right? Unless you're really into Shin-chan, then great, more power to you. But I want to have a full palette of anime as a whole. I want to be like, okay, there's this really important series, like Anpan Man. You know, I'm not saying I want to watch all of Anpan Man. That's kind of a lot, but there's a bunch of these movies. I would want to watch a couple of those Anpan Man movies, just so I can be like, yeah, I understand what Anpan Man is. I see what the appeal is, or what the demographic is, and I have an understanding of it. The same thing with Shin-chan. I read this really great blog talking about how the first 10 movies, I believe the first 10, are directed by Keiichi Hara, or like the main director of the series for the chunk of time. And it actually lines up with the timeline really well, because they said that he left in 2004, which is around the time where the 10th-ish movie or 11th or 12th would have come out. And they talk about each of these movies, and they're all really interesting and good in their own ways. So they sound really good. And then, like, 9th is kind of like the super popular pick, and like the really good one, apparently. And I watched the 9th one. I saw screen caps of it, and I watched it with a friend, and we fucking loved it. It's a great movie. Please watch it. Oh my gosh, I think I still have it. Like, download it. Like, I still own it. I don't own it. I pirated it. Yes, Helen, I pirate. I do pirate. Like, I was a broke teenager in college. I wouldn't have been the anime fan that I am now, and gratefully working in this industry now. If I was, I wouldn't have become such a big fan and therefore work in this industry now, if it weren't for the fact that I was able to find access to all this anime at the time. I was able to watch Ashura no Joe. I was able to watch all these older titles that have never been brought to the United States. I'm just defending my stance of piracy because I know she has like a really hard stance against it, and like, I can now completely disregard what this person says. They're pro-piracy. I'm not pro-piracy. I'm just not. I have an entire video of why you should buy anime and support the anime industry. And I talk about piracy and how it's like, it only gets you so far. You can't stop it. I'm not going to make a whole piracy argument. Anyway. But yes, I've watched the 9th movie, and it's amazing. Yeah, I thought, although I personally like the Vitello dub more than the funny dub, more faithful to the original show. I really don't think the series needed funny punched up scripts. Yeah, that's what it is. And anyway, yeah, they didn't like Shin-chan. I guess kind of predictable. I guess that because they're older people, like they're in their 40s or 50s. Maybe I don't know. Yeah, not great. Crimson Wolf, entertainingly bad Yellow Peril Hokum, unlikely to be as popular as Ranma 1/2. There's Ranma 1/2 again. And there's no reason this time. Like, it's not a gender bend thing. I think it's because it's supposed to be like a Chinese flavored anime, because the Crimson Wolf is like talking about like actual communism shit. Like they're actually like, we've defeated communism or something. In scraps of clumsy plotting typical of such matinee adventures, the Crimson Wolves only become aware of the threat they pose when the assassins are sent to stop them. If the Great Kings left them in ignorance, the 1,000 days would have passed without opposition. The three kings, the three great kings they're referring to, where is it? They list all of them. It's really funny. It's Genghis Khan, Qin Emperor, Qin Emperor, China's unifier and the ward of the famous Terracotta Army, and Communist leader Mao Zedong. So these three figures are going to rise from the dead unless these three people stop them. That's the plot of the movie. Eventually, the Great Kings take over the Chinese government's supercomputer in a finale that implies that the Crimson Wolves have saved China from its cruel first emperor, its Mongol conqueror, the architect of the Great Leap Forward, and the future spread of communism. Entertainingly bad Yellow Peril Hokum, unlikely to be as popular in the People's Republic as Ranma 1/2. I don't know, you have to dig it against. It won't be as popular as one of the most popular anime of the 90s. Yeah, I guess it won't. Huh? Okay. Can't get it out of their mouths. Makes sense. They're older fans. I've only seen the yeah, okay. Weird. But understandable. It does sound bad. I'm not gonna try to, whatever. Crying Freeman, I also thought it was a negative review, unfortunately. Deeply offensive accents in the dub, but they still say it's passable. They say like, it's a passable dub. Some deeply offensive accents. It's like, okay. And then they say it's too faithful to the manga art. They're like, and so like it really limps along in the last couple of episodes. It's not animated very well. But like it's a pretty decent article otherwise, I thought. But they didn't like that one. Even the licensor hated Crimson Wolf. They only got it because the Japanese studio was holding back something they wanted. Oh, interesting. Streamline Pictures dubbed this, and it's what led to their bankruptcy. Crimson Wolf? Really? What? Or Crying Freeman? Are you talking about Crying Freeman? I don't know. Anyway. Mixed reviews. Comet-san, it said it was a product of its time. It's a Bewitched clone. I deadass Controlled F clone in the 3rd edition. I'm like, how many times are they going to call something a clone of something else? Oh! And so I'm just going to... I'll do that later. I'll just try to really figure that out. I think it's a trend of just this media poisoned... Oh, it's just like this other title. It's Gundam all over again or something. And it's like, whatever, man. Compiler. redeeming features, but can't rescue a show whose raison d'etre was not to entertain, but to advertise. And they're referring to, like, advertising the manga. And it's like, you mean the function of every anime ever? Not every anime ever, okay. Like, the majority. Like, it's a lot of them are advertisements. What kind of dig is that? They're just trying to find an insult, it seems. It seemed to me, at least. Compiler. So they list some redeeming features here and there. Yeah. But even these finesses can't rescue a show whose original raison d'etre was not to entertain so much as to advertise. A marketing tool designed to remind Japanese viewers of a manga that remains untranslated into English. Compiler has little purpose in the US market. Dude, you could literally erase the word compiler and put like 80% of anime. This is a nothing statement is what I'm trying to say. This is just trying to be trying to insult it for the sake of insulting it. A marketing tool designed to remind Japanese viewers of a manga that remains untranslated in English. Blank has little purpose in the US market. There are so many anime that you can completely write off and be like, this shouldn't be in the US. This shouldn't be licensed because we don't have the manga. Why do we have this? What are you talking about? Anyway. Thought it was a strange choice. Cool Couple. It's a Karikano clone. Okay. Corrector Yui. Again, they say it's surprisingly old-fashioned. It's a curious combo of preachy conservative channel with formulaic appeal. Let me read this in full. It's a weird statement. Corrector Yui. A curious combination of the preachy conservatism to be expected from a state-owned education channel like NHKEP and the formulaic, marketing-led appeal of a corporate creator like Bandai. Okay. A curious combination of the preachy conservatism to be expected from a state-owned education channel like NHKEP and the formulaic marketing-led appeal of a corporate creator like Bandai. Okay. Again, it feels like an insult for the sake of being insulting. Oh, I'm talking about Crimson Wolf. Do they call anything else Bewitched clone? Yes. Yeah, they've mentioned Bewitched several times. Let me control F Bewitched. And how many times they mention it. I don't know about clone, but let's see. Bewitched. There are 21 results in this encyclopedia. The chaste titillation of I Dream of Jeannie and Bewitched for a Japanese television audience. A Japanese knockoff of Bewitched, but with a title that acknowledges the American Bewitched, one of the most important formative. Bewitched in Tokyo. From Bewitched, the Nicole Kidman vehicle. A Bewitched clone. Bewitched as my wife is a witch Okasa Wamajo. But maternal house proud, but ditzy Samantha in Bewitched, Elizabeth Montgomery and Joy. They eventually reach our own words compared to Bewitched Agnes. Our first true heroine, Little Witch Sally, whose Bewitched-inspired trip to Earth. Okay, witch-inspired. They were nice to that one. Yet another juvenile rehash of Bewitched. And my wife is a witch, Bewitched. All the way to the American sitcom Bewitched, Kosuke Fujigin. Compared to Bewitched Agnes. Oh my god. Princess Odette is bewitched by the... Okay. Like Bewitched Agnes, that she rather likes the human world. Playing on the my wife is a witch concept of Bewitched. Original inspiration in I Dream of Jeannie and Bewitched. And a remake of the... Yeah. They talk about Bewitched a lot. Very important. That's not sarcastic. I can understand it being important at the time. But like digging on other shows for that reason? Come on. No, I'm talking about Crimson Wolf. There's an article on Cartoon Research about what happened behind the scenes. Oh, wow. Okay, I might give it a shot. What is that Clanad description? You can go to the VOD for Clanad. It's 2 VODs ago. It's or no. Oh my god, it was no. Yeah, it was 2 VODs ago. It was 2 VODs ago from Sea to Cleopatra, the 3rd edition. If you look at that VOD, there should be, maybe there's a timestamp for Clanad. I don't remember. I talk about it for a while though. There you go. I got some weird words for Clanad. It's funny because Bewitched was a huge influence on the magical girl genre. Oh, well, exactly. That's exactly why they're mentioning it. It's funny because most fans of Crying Freeman manga complaining that art in the anime is not faithful enough. Ha ha ha. That's funny. Yay! By the way, the shared Shin-chan episode is 49A of the Yellow dub. It's one with the messenger. The funny was made a vibrator. There's so many shows that are more aptly described as Bewitched clone, like Megu-chan. Maybe they call it that in Megu-chan. They called Ikiteru Futari Cool Couple a Karikano clone. Have they even seen Cool Couple? It's a comedy ecchi romance. I think they were the way they were describing it, they were saying how the girl is mean, but the boy wins her over in the end. And that makes it a Karikano clone. That joke went over my head as a kid. When I got older, it was basically like a eureka moment. Let me look up. Let me not put words in their mouth, I guess. Cool Couple. I guess. Yes, I shouldn't put words in their mouth. I would love to not put words in their mouth. They deadass start the article with a His and Her Circumstances clone based on Takashi Sano's manga from Young King magazine, in which high school student Kyosuke Saji falls in love with class valedictorian Aki Koizumi. Though she is beastly to him at first, and her friends equally cruel, eventually he breaks through and makes her his girl. Shown, like Colorful, as part of the late-night TV show Wonderful, it was eventually compiled into 2 omnibus editions. Okay, I see where they're coming from, I guess. It's a mix for being ode to clone. Corrector Yui, yep. Cutter Story, yeah, again, bizarre boondoggle. Okay. And then Cyborg 009, Re-Cyborg, occasionally pretentious, interesting experiment animating CG on 3s. Yeah, interesting. But yeah, I don't have much to say about that one. But they do see something about Cyber 09. I teased it the last time. Yeah, so changed opinion. Oh man, 1 hour and 39. I'm probably going to get a little over 2 hours. God damn it. I'm so inefficient with this. I have so much to say. Or I'm digging around with like the chat and stuff like that. I'm not efficient with my time. I gotta be better at that. Crest of the Stars. The 1st edition was a negative review. The 3rd edition was a fairly positive review. And I think I do pretty good job kind of giving the differences here. I don't want to read the whole article. But the 1st edition, they say it fails through misplaced loyalty to the novels, whereas the 3rd edition says that the loyalty to the novels is spun as a positive. Like, oh, it's painstakingly close to his novels. You know, painstakingly recreating the Ob's language. And then this one says, like, it's recreating the Ob language. What a dumb idea, basically. Again, I don't want to... I keep wanting to paraphrase, but I always feel like I'm misconstruing them. Let me go read it. I'm not going to read the whole thing. Let me read the 1st edition here. In space, so like little difference in the synopsis here, but here's the part where they're actually going to talk about it. Despite the promising concept of a collaborator turning against his masters and the painstaking recreation of the Ob's alien language, Crest of the Stars fails through misplaced loyalty to Hiroyuki Morioka's original novels, resulting in a succession of uneventful debates, not unlike the slower portions of Legend of the Galactic Heroes. Squandering much of the budget on showy computer graphics for the 1st episode, it's soon reduced to cut-rate animation, which further stretches viewers' patience. Idol project director Nagaoka attempts to compensate by making Raphael an elfin space bimbo, forever bending over and jiggling, to a sop to the adolescent audience that devalues much talk of Ob war crimes and conquests, as if Britney Spears had been cast as an SS officer. But there's no accounting for taste. and a sequel, Celestial Banner, duly followed in 2000. Oh boy. They did not like that one. Like, but then, 3rd edition, we read this on stream earlier, and I'm like, oh, that seemed like that was a good article. The the 3rd edition. I don't know what happens in the 2nd edition. Maybe I don't know what it looks like. Crest of the Stars is one of the better hard anime sci-fi series, though viewers wanting wall-to-wall action should look elsewhere, as the plot proceeds at a deliberate pace, and the show places emphasis on character development. The series follows Hiroyuki Morioka's original novels closely, painstakingly recreating the OBS alien language, though it suffers from squandering much of its budget on showy computer graphics for the first episode, and is soon reduced to cut-rate animation. Versus the 1st edition, and is soon reduced to cut-rate animation, which further stretches the viewer's patience. So they want to give the little, like, dig on the 3rd, like, oh, we still have our problems, but they frame it in a tasteful way that it's like, it doesn't make matters worse, is what I'm saying. You know, like, we can deal with it. The series was also released as a 120-minute. So they completely cut this portion where they're complaining about the director attempting to compensate by making Raphael an elfin space bimbo, forever bending over and jiggling, a sop to the adolescent audience that devalues much talk of war crimes and conquests, as if Britney Spears had been cast as an SS officer. Oh, but there's no accounting for taste. Holy shit. Like, oh my gosh. Full screen. I didn't see what you said there, Full Wind Man. Let me read some. They called it. That joke went over my head as a kid when I got older. What's going on? Hey, Alien. I keep forgetting the name of your name. I'm so sorry. God damn it. I'm so bad. Hello. Great seeing you. God damn it. My spice meter is off the chart. Just got here. Have you covered Cutie Honey yet? Did they mention Cutie Honey Re? They do mention Cutie Honey Re, that it was also directed by Hideaki Anno. Just the whole thing. Also directed by Anno. Okay. Because they mentioned the live action movie, and then yeah. Also they spell it Cutey, not the way you just spelled it. I remember watching this show as a kid when G4 used to have an anime block. Yeah. Like, I know this was directed by the guy who also did the Yu Yu Hakusho and who did Yu Yu Hakusho and Bleach. Yeah, cool. But yeah, that was incredibly different. Very different, changed opinion there. Don't know what happened there. There's a lot of possibilities where that could have been. They either rewatched it and changed their minds, or they watched Banner and, like, they grew to like it a lot more, because they do talk about Banner and other things in the 3rd edition as well, and they seem to, you know, I think they may have warmed up to it, maybe, or it's a completely different person, maybe like Helen or John wrote the 1st edition, and then the other person wrote the 3rd edition, because they're like, no, it's actually, like, really good. Let me read this. Let me write this article. Like, it's okay if you don't like it. Let me write this one. Or they got completely somebody else to write it, because, like, at the end of the day, they're both co-signing onto every one of these articles, every single one. Maybe some ones they don't agree with, but they put in their name on each one, and they're not telling you which one wrote what. So, like, it's entirely possible where they both feel this way, and they didn't want to change it, so the 1st edition came out as it did, and somebody else was like, you gotta not do that. Let me give you a and they're like, okay, we'll cut that part out. We'll put this back in. Okay. So that could have happened as well. No way to tell. Oh, cool. They mentioned the live action, I guess. Not the Tokusatsu series, but yeah, the live action Arlo movie. Just mentioned it. They didn't really say anything about it. But they do say that the manga happens. The Cutie Honey's going to come back up in the Odd Choices, so you stick around for that. The elaborate and generic ones, I mean, Chance Pop Sessions, I thought it was really short. I don't know. I didn't really do anything about this article. I was mostly focused on the changes. Spoilers! In the final scene of this first episode of Cockpit, so they spoil that. Great. Cream Lemon, it's complete detail of every episode. There's 36 episodes of Cream Lemon. I counted, like they're very nice. They gave the episode titles as well as the parentheses at number 1 or number 3 of like what episode it was. And like I was like, okay, maybe that's like the other like Crayon Shin-chan or like Detective Conan, where they kind of skip some movies and they don't describe every single movie. No, I counted. I looked. Every single episode gets some mention, the title, and what it's about. Jesus Christ. I guess I don't have to watch Green Lemon anymore. Maybe that was the point. Maybe I feel like I know it now. All right. Creamy Mommy, they give away the ending, albeit it's kind of obvious based on the synopsis. Still, I wouldn't have rather they did that. Too much synopsis of Crimson Wolf. They kind of seem to give away the ending at the end. Cyber City Away, they spoil the first episode, like the end of it, kind of the twist. And they spoil the first Patlabor movie by doing that. They're like, this is just like Patlabor 1, where it turns out, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, dude, what the fuck? And that, like, it's worse for Patlabor 1, because that was more of like that's a full-length movie, and that has way more of a mystery to it, where like Oedo is like a part mystery, but it's also like kind of more of an action. I guess it's an action for Patlabor 2, but there's more what the fuck happened in the first movie. And that's the big twist. And they fucking spoil it in an unrelated anime. Stop spoiling things. I'm sorry, I've not been putting my notes up. Yeah, so they just spoil things for Oedo. Cyber Formula GPX. Needless to say, the ending happens. I'm like, oh, great, cool. I guess it's another instance like Creepy Mommy where it's like, yeah, I guess I could see that coming. But like, just because you can see something coming doesn't mean you get to spoil it. That doesn't mean you get to spoil it. Oh, Sailor Moon, in the end, the good guys win. We're like come on. Come on. Cyber Example 009. They spoil the death of a character for one of the installments. I won't say which one, but there's a death that they spoil. Oh, this it features the I don't know if they say famous death. How do they frame it? Featuring the tragic death of blank. Great. Thanks. All right. Why would anyone spoil Patlabor Movie 1? Unpopular opinion, Patlabor 1 should have been a half hour shorter. What do you want to take out all the scenes of them walking around the town? I like those scenes. I love that movie, so I wouldn't cut anything from it. In fact, I'd want it to be longer. Anyway, I don't think people reading this are gonna want to watch these series after being spoiled and everything. Yeah, maybe. There are definitely some anime where I could tell you that spoiling a little bit does get people to watch it. Like that. Oh, this isn't like your typical. Like spoiling, like saying like with Madoka, the episode 3 twist. That would get people to watch it. You know what I mean? Or like, so everything's not what it seems. Even though you can kind of imply that in the first episode. And like there are certain things where it's like that could entice people to watch it or recontextualizes what you thought of it and stuff. But like there's some people that just don't want that. You have to understand that you might not care about spoilers. I know Liz, like from Twitter, where are they all about spoilers to the point where she sometimes screen caps things or posts things that are spoilers, and I'm like, well, I would have rather not see that. I'm not like completely allergic to spoilers, but like I'm more like upset for the people that would be upset about it. You know what I mean? Because obviously I don't care if I'm spoiling Patlabor when I saw Patlabor one before I got spoiled, so I shouldn't technically be this upset, right? No, I'm upset for the people that like could be reading this and haven't seen that movie, and they're just like, oh, you know. I loved the movie just as it was. Maybe the pacing would feel slower on a rewatch, but I'd loved it the first go round. Like, this is written for people that have already seen these series, but then what's the point? Right, like, what is your demographic? That's the idea, right? Is like, so is this for new fans? Is this for hardcore fans? that have seen Pat Labor 1 that haven't seen Pat Labor 1, right? Anyway, we're finally into odd choices, and there's 9 minutes left in before it's 2 hours. I just love talking, don't I? I'm sorry. God damn it. I also have like a really bad sore throat right now. I don't know if you can tell. Oh, thank God. There's only this many. Thank God. First, let's be a little positive, fellows. Let's give you some good ones. Cockpit was a great article. Even though it was largely summary, I really liked it, and it really sold me on it. I really want to watch it. Compiler. There's a lot of detail about Osaka and the localization for it. I didn't know this. It was interesting. Compiler. Compiler. I want to read a little bit of this. This is interesting. In a remarkably three-dimensional 2D universe, female agents are dispatched... Let me get a visual for this. I don't know if it's like a... There we go. Kia Asamiya. Oh, compiler. Literally this, right? I have it. That's amazing. All right. Yeah. Female agents are dispatched to destroy the 3D Earth. Instead, they decide to stay with 2 Japanese boys and live a happy life of unwedded bliss and teen angst. One day, they decide to go on a holiday in Osaka, a city long neglected in anime since being buried under a mass of tentacles and spooge in Uratsuki Doji. I don't know what they're referring to. I didn't know that Osaka is very underused ever since Uratsuki Doji. Like, I don't know how much you guys can attest to that. Like, how weird does that sound to you? But, like, my immediate thought was, like, Ojima Doremi has a character, like, from Osaka. And that's, like, Osaka accent. That's a huge... They actually describe the Osaka accent in this book. It's kind of interesting. That's the visual. I want to go back to my face. You're a real empathetic man, and that's cool. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I'm trying not to be... I don't want to, like, brag on myself or anything like that. But... Here's the thing, right? It's like I also realize that there's a very likely chance that I'll meet these people. I'll meet Helen and John at some point, just based on our proximity. My boss is very close friends with them, has talked with them multiple times, visited one of them just recently. Very likely will be in this project that I'm working on right now that I don't want to say too much about. So there's a likely possibility I'll meet these people, and it might come up that they find this, they follow me on Twitter or something, and then this comes out, or like they see this or something. Like this, it's a full possibility they'll eventually catch on to this and see what I'm talking about this. And so like I want to like really give them a benefit of the doubt, and like I don't want to burn any bridges. You know, I don't want to get myself into trouble or hot water or something. You know, and also I just don't want to make enemies. I hate having enemies. I hate people that don't like me. I am a bit of a people pleaser in that way. It's not that I'm morphing and bending. I am a bit of a fence sitter in that way, and I don't try to have one opinion or another. I just like the idea of being like chill and friends with as many people as possible. You know, because that's kind of like, you know, world unity. Like, you don't have to get along with everybody, but like you should at least be at like, oh fuck that guy. I don't, you know, there's some people sure, criminals, whatever. I don't make a moral grandstanding or something, I don't know, but like doing your best to be a decent human being is something I try to be as someone who's I'm sorry this is cringe, but I am a Boy Scout. I'm an Eagle Scout. I work for Narragansett. I work for the Boy Scouts for my other job. Like, this is an adventure base camp thing, the thing I work for, and so I'm part of the scouting organization, and the Scout Law is part of it is being, I don't want to list the whole thing. Courteous, kind, cheerful, clean. Not that I'm clean, I swear a lot. But like, you know, trying to be kind, that's the word really. And courteous and understanding and stuff. You know, trying to get understanding of the world and stuff. I don't know. I appreciate you saying that, Sir PC. That's a good attitude to have. They just don't use Osaka most of the time because it's a rural area. It's the equivalent of setting a show in Texas but not taking advantage of the area. Yeah, that's fair. But let me read their article here, which is good. I'm reading it because it's a good article. Although there's some strange choices, but it's like, whatever. In this anime based on Silent Mobius creator Kia Asamiya's 1991 love comedy,
Osaka becomes the venue for 2 naked female assassins sent from the 2D universe to terminate the turncoat Terminators. They attempt to blend in by loading Osaka language chips, which turns them into a pair of bitchy game show hosts, but their gags will fall flat on an audience ignorant of Osaka's manzai comedy tradition. See Jarinko Chie. Most of the humor rests on the unique attitude and accent of Osaka's people, which could be described as Chicago gangster talk and New York sarcasm combined with a ludicrous love of yen. The dubbing script tries to approximate the Osaka accent as a mix of Valley Girls, Jersey longshoremen, and Cretans. But, although there is a lengthy discourse on the history of Osaka baseball, this episode is almost incomprehensible without a set of liner notes, sadly lacking in AD Vision's translation. And that's kind of the bit about Osaka that I thought was interesting. I'm like, wow, that's great. And like learning a bit about the Japanese culture, right? That's what we want. That's the good stuff. That's the insight that you have. You're not giving us insight by giving your hot anime takes. You know what I mean? Or making these big generalizations. And maybe you could be arguing that this is making a generalization of Osaka, but it is giving people a basic understanding for, especially in a text-based book, that you can't hear the Osaka. Like, I understand where they're coming from just from knowing a few characters that have that accent, that particular accent and stuff. Anyway, I like that article. Cowboy Bebop I thought was a decent article. For a reason, it just seemed good. And then Crusher Joe, I also felt pretty good reading as well. It didn't have much cynicism to it, and good description, and little tidbits here there, like talking about the Dirty Pair cameo, things like that. It's good. I like that one. And there's some titles I'm now interested in. They're all right here. So Cockpit's the one that I've seen before, I've heard of before, but I haven't seen yet. Well, let's go down to desktop and look up some of these titles. So Compiler's one of them. Coup of the Far Seas, I'd never heard of. And they were pretty positive about this movie. So when they're positive about an anime, surprise, surprise, it makes me want to watch it. Wouldn't one of your priorities in anime, of writing an anime encyclopedia, to be get people to watch more anime? Isn't that kind of a good thing? Dude, I didn't want that. Okay, Coup of the Far Seas. Search all results, please. Oh my god. Oh my god. Ugh. Gotta look it up and find the Japanese name. Oh my god. Toi Umi Kara. Great. Too much anime. Kara Kitaku. Dude, where is it? God damn it. What the fuck? Can I get like Toei? No, it's a Toei movie. There's no way I'm finding it like that. Fucking shit. I'm looking for what I can... Tetsuo Imazawa? Coup. Jesus Christ. Yeah. Yeah. That's kind of nice. This charming film, greatly helped by ravishing backgrounds, researched on real-life Pacific Islands at great expense to the sponsors at the Fiji Tourist Board, marries the 1990s ecological fad of Free Willy and Fly Peak to the eternal guarantee that dinosaurs will get children into theaters. This little dinosaur thing. It's a little dinosaur. Aww. The very Free Willy vibes, yeah. That's a great poster. Wow, what a great poster. Sheesh. What else? Cotton Star. Once again, I am cucked by not being able to fucking search it. God, literal damn it. Okay, Watano Kuniboshi. Oh, I guess that was it. I have heard of this before. Fantasy of a Kitten? 1984. 1984. Yeah. Mushi. 96. Yeah. This is it. I've heard of this one. I've seen this one before. I haven't seen it, but I've seen it around. Cotton Star. I'm going to put in parentheses here.
Wata no Kuni Hoshi. This is a good track on the lo-fi thing. Let's go. Cry of the Dragon. They said that this was the first depiction of mahjong in anime. So I thought that was kind of interesting and significant. Of course you're not going to find that shit. God damn it. Cry of the Dragon. Okay, it's Nageki no Ryu Soma. No, I don't want that. No, Mari? It's from 23rd. No. Alright, I'll do this other thing again. Satoshi Tazaki? No! I guess I'll look it up. Dezki. Alright, friggin' Nageki. Fucking what? Ryu? What do you mean? Wait. Is it not on here? Wait, no. Did Satoshi Tazaki not direct this movie? Oh no. Keizo Shimizu. I can't believe I'm already. Ugh. Keizo. Is this the one? Keizo Shimizu. Yeah. Okay. Ryu. Oh! Naki no Ryu. Oh my god. Jeez Louise. Yeah, of course I couldn't find it. 3-episode OVA. Yeah, I guess it's the first depiction of mahjong in anime. They say the anime adaptation, and this is also kind of a cool parallel here. Selling over 2 million copies after it was serialized in Modern Mahjong magazine, Cry of the Dragon made creator Junichi Nojo one of the 2 most successful manga creators of the 1980s. The other, Katsuhiro Otomo, also had a manga turned into an anime that year, Akira. The anime adaptation, see, like, they don't belittle this anime for comparing it. They don't compare it to Akira. They're like, oh, this also happened in the same year, because the other popular, like, that was a good connection. The anime adaptation was the first show to portray mahjong games on screen, a task no doubt made less boring by the murder subplots. Okay, a little dig there, but interesting. I was interested. No. Sorry, I'm not reading the chat yet. I'm always in a cubitus. I guess this is the struggle, huh? For me to have not heard of these, God damn it. Cubitus. Come on. Cubitus. Don Domeru. And Ron. Alright. Hiroshi Sasakawa. Dude! No, I want people. Did I spell that wrong? I don't know. Son of a bitch. There's a lot of directors, actually. Shit. Dupa? Telescreen? I don't know if people would actually show up to that. Junichi Sakata? Oh my god. What the fuck? Dutch artist Dupa. It's like a Dutch thing. Ron is an inventor who loves to tinker around with machines. His loyal friend and companion is Domeru. Homeru Ken. Characters? No. Sorry if I'm taking so much of the stream with this. Alright, let's find this. Cubitus. It's this thing. Cubitus anime. Wowzer? It was called goddamn Wowzer? Don't tell me. Okay. God damn it. I guess this... Whoa! I guess it's not on here because they don't think it's anime? There it is. Dun Dun? Like, maybe like this? Dun Dun. Domel? It's not showing up. Oh, whoa, whoa, there it is, there it is. Jesus Christ. It's another one of those that it took forever to find. 25, actually, the Anime Encyclopedia says that it's 104 episodes. It says it's 52. Interesting. Yeah, this is the one. That just sounded interesting to me, is what it is. God damn it. Cybot Robochi. Oh, thank God I found it just right away. And that was also interesting to me. It's another one. It's funny that they keep doing this. They keep bringing up these shows where I don't see the visual at all, and then I read it and it's like, that sounds kind of interesting, and then I find this and it's just like, wow, I would never watch this in a million years. It just seems so random and generic, you know. That's the comeuppance I get for not ever checking out the synopsis of an anime, really. Sorry, you guys keep retracting messages, and I I just never see them. Not like snob. I'm watching Canon right. Oh, let me get the. How big that chat went down. Not like snob. I'm watching Canon right now, which is set in Osaka. Nice. I'm pretty sure Janko Chie is set there too. Yeah, that makes sense. It's the only key anime I haven't seen yet. Never heard of Janko Chie, but I see Takahata work on it. Yeah, Janko Chie. There's a movie and there's a TV series. I don't think the TV series is subbed yet, but the movie is and has been for a while. Takahata was involved with both of them though, so the series is really interesting, but hasn't been subbed. Osaka's the New Jersey of Japan. I can see that. Yeah, I did work on Sharon Chiyo. It's a nice film. Fire Force is great though. I see it's a series as well. I tried typing enter and it would just go. That's what happened when I went into Fire Force, and that's why it kept happening. I'm sorry if that was frustrating to watch. Star of Cottonland. Yeah, this is cool. Japanese wiki is infringement. I'm not going on that. Go away. I want a Mal. Hey, this is the start. Anything interesting? It's some slightly interesting stuff, but not like huge bombshell. I guess there was a cut entry for the first time, and then there was a changed opinion. It's rare. Some rare stuff in that one. Had some obscure shows, heard some hot takes, the usual. Yeah. Gotta watch the VOD after stream. Yeah. The thing is dubbed by Saban. It's possible that this is made in 12-minute episodes that got broadcast together. Yeah, that's true. Sabat's show seems done by Chargeman Ken guys. Must be quality. Yeah, maybe. It is Knack Productions, so it is possible. It is possible. It's got the same quality. Anywho, tell Mr. Wolf that Duncan lives at. Articles I thought were especially informative and well made. Bluebird. I'm just putting that like over here. Like whatever. Okay. Some weird choices, odd choices. I'm at 2 hours, 10 minutes, of course. I'm trying to make this 2.5 hours, maybe. Oh well. Guess it's the norm. Oh well. Combattler V. They say, in a story that will be original to anyone who has never heard of Battle of the Planets. Combattler V's a mecha series. It's like the one where it's like Voltron, right? Like they're each piloting a different, Combattler V? Like they could have mentioned like the Char thing. Like the Char parallel that it has. But like, oh, Battle of the Planets, am I right? I'm like, Battle of the Planets? What, because they have like a group of superheroes? Like it's pilots. It's good. I don't know. I found that a baffling choice personally. Yeah, Shapes, I think you need at least AnyDB. It usually has a mal link. Yeah, whatever. That's fair. I sent a link to the Mal page for Don Don Domo when you were looking for it, but I guess links don't show up in chat. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, sorry, I keep doing that. Compiler. They holiday in Osaka, a city long neglected in anime since being buried under a mass of tentacles and splooge in Arasuki. Like, what a flattering way to introduce the thing. I just thought it was a weird choice. Detective Conan. Made me raise an eyebrow, basically. Detective Conan. Okay. Why? Conan. Where is it? Here it is. I'm just double checking. No. So this is a new sentence in the 3rd edition. And I'm kind of confused. Let me see. Yeah, I just want to like make sure I'm not paraphrasing. Sometimes I paraphrase and stuff with like to make these the notes here concise. Conan. Conan. Okay. Yeah. In May 2005, manga author Gosho Aoyama, the creator of Detective Conan, somewhat creepily married Minami Takayama, the actress who provides the voice of Conan in the original Japanese version. So he married the seiyuu. They were divorced in 2007. That's it. Why mention that? Like a fun fact? Trivia. This weird creepy fact. Like, what the fuck? About like Detective Conan, like one of the most like it's like an institution of anime and manga, right? And they say as much. They kind of say as much in this article, but then they add that at the end. Like, it only happened for 2 years, and it doesn't like. Why mention that? That is so weird. Did they get like angry in the second or third? In the third, this is only this. No. Yes. I was like, this could be in the 2nd edition. This could only be in the 3rd edition because the 2nd edition goes only up to 2005, I think, and that the publishing came out in 2006. So that I think the 2nd edition only covers to 2005. So like, this just happened, and then they divorced in 2000. Like, why mention this? It's so weird. I know Combattler is in the Super Robot Wars. It's a Robot trilogy thing. You guys in your Super Robot Wars, goddamn. Conan will always be a case closed to me. Oh yeah. Also, Gatchaman is Gatchaman and Battle of the Planets. Yeah, I get that. Combattler looks cool because it's part of that robot romance. Exactly, which they don't mention initially. But anyway, yeah. So then the Conan thing was weird. Crayon Shin-chan, if only English should. Yeah, I did talk about this. Okay. There's also, yeah, this is an opinion more from on my end, but it was just a really bad synopsis of movie 9. Crimson Wolf, unlikely to be popular. Yeah, I was like, what the fuck? Cutie Honey. Okay, guys, is this weird? Am I crazy to think this is weird? From Kekko Common creator Go Nagai. Kekko Common? You're not gonna mention creator of Devilman, creator of Mazinger Z, creator of anything else? Kekko Common? Is that like the first thing he worked on and that's why you're mentioning it? Am I crazy? I don't even know much about Kekko. Maybe there is some justification to why, but like, no. Kekko Common from 1974. He wrote this like way after. There's an adaptation. It's just a 4-episode OVA. Okay. Like, whatever. It's an adaptation of that. And then there's a sequel, there's an alternate setting. There's one OVA. What the fuck? Why? Why call him Kekko Common creator Go Nagai? It's Go Nagai! I'm sorry. Anyway, most of the knowledge from Mecha comes from Super Robot Wars. Even a guy thought Kekko Common was one of his weaker works. Yeah, interesting. Maybe, you know what? Maybe it's because it's similar to Cutie Honey? Oh, yeah. Like, so, the logic of that, of like, oh, you've heard of Kekko Common? Oh, there's this other work called Cutie Honey. Wouldn't it be the other way around? From Cutie Honey Creator? Oh, he also did this other thing that's kind of similar. Where, like, I can't show you the cover. I looked it on Mal, and the cover is not savory. At least in my opinion. So, sure. It's the main character. It's like a female-centric. You guys can look it up yourselves. The first thing that guy did was Shameless School. Right, like, yes, I'm sure everyone knows Nagai's Kekko Common. Exactly. I'm like, what? This is a strange choice for me. Given that, like, Mazinger and Devilman are right there. And you're describing Cutie Honey. I was like, oh, the guy who made Devilman also made this thing. That's all I know. Like, what? I don't know. Little nitpick, I guess. Was animated for TV before its rookie year in manga was over. So, like, they described Cutie Honey. The person who was it? Kyotso. I think you wanted to learn more of what they said about Cutie Honey. Make this interesting choice. Based on a short-lived shonen champion manga from Kekko Common creator Go Nagai, the breast-fixated Cutie Honey was animated for TV before its rookie year in manga was over. In a pastiche of Astro Boy, a bereaved professor creates an android facsimile of his murdered daughter, implanting a super-powerful device into her ample bosom. The airborne element solidifier can reassemble matter in the vicinity, effectively giving Honey anything she needs to help her in her fight to save the world, including specialized bodies such as the Hurricane Honey and Flash Honey. It also ensures that all her clothes disappear every time she transforms, a controversial innovation at the time, now commonplace in shows such as Sailor Moon. Her enemy in the original TV series is Panther Zora, leader of the all-female Panther Claw crime syndicate. That's your description of 73. What do you think of that? I haven't actually seen Cutie Honey. I know enough about it to, like, kind of get into a whiff of how true that is, but that surely was interesting. But also, do they have an entry on Nagai? Like a creator entry for the 3rd edition? Probably. I don't know, actually, because I don't know how involved in anime he was the same way. Let's find out. I imagine it would be in N for Nagai. I'm control Fing because there's 87 results for Nagai, so which makes sense. N for Nagai. Nagai go. Yes, they do. 1945 to now, born in Ishikawa Prefecture, Nagai became an assistant to the manga artist Shotaro Ishinomori after completing high school. He enjoyed early and controversial success as a manga artist, with titles such as Shameless School, introducing nudity and crudity in abundance to young readers' great enjoyment and the eternal annoyance their parents. He subsequently copied the model of Osamu Tezuka's Mushi production to set up his own company, Dynamic Planning, which has overseen Nagai's works in their anime forms, including Devilman, Cutie Honey, and Kekko Common. Kekko Common again. His greatest influence, however, has been in the world of giant robots, including such important works as Getter Robo, Grandizer, and Mazinger Z, anime's first pilotable robot. Although he does have an English language following, his work still seems much better known in Europe and the Arab world. He was also notably a designer on the puppet series X-Bomber, including the impressive combining robot Die X. That's a nice little tidbit at the end. I like that. That's not a bad synopsis of an overview of his career. Of course, I mentioned Kekko Common, though. That was alright. Not a bad description. Gets the basics of the show right. Yeah. Although it is... I did get a little irked when they're like, it's like Astro Boy. I'm like, ugh. Like, I get it is like Astro Boy, but like the Tezuka thing, they're just like, God, Tezuka? Tezuka? I'm sorry. Just like very transparent. And I understand because you wrote a book on him. He loves the guy. I get it. It's very important. And I'm not trying to be sarcastic. He is important. Like, I don't deny that. It's just transparently funny sometimes. The guy didn't work on any of his anime, so the quality varies. For example, he loves the Devilman OVAs and Crybaby, but hates the Violence Jack OVAs. Interesting. I didn't know that. Cool. I can imagine that because, like, to my knowledge about Violence Jack, the OVAs are especially weird and cruel and yikesy, whereas the manga, he's actually trying to say something. Yeah, he's actually trying to, like, give a little commentary, similar to, like, Devilman, where it's, like, a little schlocky and stuff. But at least the original Devilman OVA, like, is fairly faithful to the original manga, which is probably refreshing for him, given that Devilman's original incarnation in the 70s, and that was what everyone knew it for. And so for this OVA to come out over a decade later is really interesting and substantial, and probably what he really appreciated. Anyway, where was I? Detective Conan. Cutie Honey, yes. Oh. Yeah. Yes. Okay. Interesting. There's a little piece here, and this is in the 3rd edition too. There's no changing this. Honey would return for 1994 for New Cutie Honey, directed by Yasuchika Nagaoka, and released straight to video. With new designs by Osamu Kasai, the new series picked up where the TV series left off. From here, I was like, I feel like it's a missed opportunity here. This is what I wrote. That's a great point to your constant reference. That is a great point to do your constant referencing. So, like, when they're talking about, like, oh, like this, see that, and trying to create strands to other series for them to pop around the encyclopedia, which is what that's for. That's a great use of that right there, and they didn't take it for whatever reason. They just, like, by new designs by Osamu Kasai. Who's that? Do you want me to just, like, look in the back of the encyclopedia and just backwards resource? Or you could put in parentheses, oh, he's the Nadesco design, or, like, whatever his designs were. And so I was like, I don't know, I was going to give an example. I'm like, okay, what did he design? Giving a visual to what the designs might look similar to. Wait a minute. Kasai wasn't a designer. You look up Osamu Kasai. Let's look up Osamu Kasai. So I'm like, okay, what was his okay, there's Cutie Honey. Episode director. Wait. Or for Candy Candy, there's Cutie Honey. Episode director. Wait. Did he design? He never character designed anything. He's not a character designer. Who is he talking about? Let's go to New Cutie Honey. Look at this poster, by the way. Really good. Very epic. Who's the designer? I know, Mal's not a great source, blah, blah, blah. Osamu Horiuchi is the character designer for Bakuretsu Tenshi. Full Metal Panic is the Full Metal Panic designer. All right, yeah. I know his designs. So you get a little visual, right? You can put in parentheses like Full Metal Panic designer. You know what I mean? Last Exile. Sorry. Minky Momo, interesting. Buddhist Space Pirates. Yeah, but like that's interesting. You know what I mean? So that was a little stumbling that I came into. Let's notes. Okay. Yeah, really, Osamu Horiuchi's the designer for New Cutie Honey. Okay. The Violence Jack OVAs were written by the guy who did FMA 03 when he was his Edgelord phase, so he completely missed the point of the manga. That's a Shoei Aikawa work? That was written by Shoei Aikawa? Holy shit, really? Wow. That's surprising. I didn't know he had been working for that long. Like, he's worked for, like, I didn't know he was... Aren't the Violence Jack OVAs kind of old? God damn. Am I right about Shoei? That's Full Metal Alchemist 03 writer, right? Yeah. Interesting.
The original Cutie Honey TV series has this awesomely surreal use of color and sometimes framed like a stage play. Oh, wow. The guy hates the Flash Jack so much he's forbidden anyone from making an anime of it unless he feels they understand the source material. Good. As he should in the first place. Like, I don't know why you wouldn't do that for any of your manga, personally. Like, they could do a Crybaby thing where it's stylistically very modern or different, like apart from his manga, but it does something. But it's very archaic. It's a very archaic premise nowadays. It would never happen. Fun fact: Flash Jack was a major influence on Berserk. Oh, I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't be able to pass it. Fist of the North Star, same thing. Yeah, interesting. No mention of the Tokusatsu series. Oh well. Cyber City Oedo. Oh man, 3 minutes before 2.5 hours. Oh well. I keep tangenting a lot and talking a lot. Cyber City Oedo, pretty boy cross. We've talked about this before. Like, was he ever a cross-dresser? I don't remember. And I wanted to like go and find it, but I don't have access to the footage right now. Like easy access. I didn't want to just download it and just whatever. So I was like, I don't think so, but you know, I could be wrong. Cyber Night movie. Yeah. 1980 movie is the only part of the franchise available in English. I don't have the notes up. I'm sorry. There you go. Am I crazy? Let me go to the 3rd edition again. Where like this has definitely happened by now. Let's see. Let me just look up 009. 380. Oh, that makes sense. I was like, they mentioned that title that many times. It's like, no. Cyborg 009. 28 results. Okay. There you are. So I'm trying to find where they say the 80s movie. They're talking about the 60s series. Writer of Star Wars. Where is it? They still have it in 2015, I swear. A movie. Much of the same crew stayed on for the 1980 movie to celebrate Ishinomori's 25th anniversary in manga publishing. Legend of the Super Galaxy was directed by Akahi and is the only part of the 009 franchise available in English. It says it right there in the 3rd edition. And then they mention a 52... The series was revived in 2001 and on TV Tokyo as Cyborg 009 The Cyborg Soldier, a 52-episode remake under the directorship under the directorship of Atsushi Kawagoe, and again as the cumbersomely titled CGI feature 009 Re-Cyborg, directed by Kenji Kamamiya. Kamamiya's sequel updates the chronology, and they just talk about the CG movie after that. They completely gloss over the 52-episode show, which I'm almost positive aired on Toonami. What happened? Oops. Can't win them all, I guess. They couldn't even fix that in the 2nd edition? No one told them? Yikes. Oh well. Sho Aikawa also did Overfiend and Genocyber, so as you can see, pretty much anything he did before Nagasuko is trash. Come on! I need to see Legend though. You're talking about Urasuki Doji, right? Overfiend? Or are those two different things? Are those two different things? Overfiend and Urasuki Doji? I thought they were the same thing. No results found for Overfiend? Get out of here. What do you mean, guy? Okay, Urutsuki Doji. Alright, do I not have internet or something? What's going on? What are you doing in my basement? Get out of here. Get out of here! Heike. Okay, it's working now. Urutsuki Doji. Urutsuki Is it a hentai and that's why it's not coming up? Is it a hentai and that's why it's not coming up on my fucking Taiga? Come on. Does Bible Black not show up on Taiga?
I don't think it does. That's funny. It doesn't. Huh. I guess you can't list hentai on Kitsu or something. No, there's hentai on Kitsu. What are you talking about? Why does he not show up over here? I don't get it. Anyway, thank God I don't list hentai on my Taiga because I don't watch it. Mama. I want to watch Cyber Series at 1979 because there's a whole sequence in Blue Blazes about how great Khan is. It's the OP. You can just watch the OP and that's it. You don't have to watch the whole show. I didn't see your... You keep retracting these messages, Full of Man, and you're making me curious. I guess I'll see it in the VOD, I guess, because it's, you know, maybe. Yeah, that's all. There's all the odd choices, and that's kind of it for the stream. I can do an open read if anyone wants me to read some of the any of the C entries or any other entry if you want me to. Considering how kind of uncommon it is. Yes, Aikawa did do Urtsuki. Okay, that's cool. Wow, I did not know that. That's really cool. I got a whole new perspective on him. That's really interesting. I would have never known that. Maybe I would at some point, but I could get like a drink of water or something. Oh my god. Oh, sheesh. Oh. I could have done the see you be right back screen, but I don't care. Okay, but I should warn you. Oh, alright. That it features a very outdated depiction of a black character design. So does Dragon Ball, dude. Like, that doesn't deter me. Like, oh, I better not watch. Also, it's a porn. Like, Urutsuki Doji's like a hentai. Even the show itself is anti-racism message. Oh, Kyotsu. Oh, the cyber series. Oh, that show. Oh, sorry. Never mind. I mean, yes. It's like one of the cyborgs is not very racially well depicted. It's not excusable, but I mean, I imagine the reason was just the stylistic design at the time. They're just inspired by a lot of comics, and they're like, oh. And they probably just haven't seen a lot of black people, so it just wasn't a good idea. Yeah, it's like... Yeah, this show has an anti-racism message, and I think it should be judged on what it says. And it's clearly not intending to be prejudice. It's just it's just a unflattering, very outdated depiction. You know. Aikawa also did Eureka 7AO. It's not like he doesn't make crap in the modern era. Sure. I've yet to watch any of those crap, so I don't have like a sour... I don't have a sour impression to show Aikawa. I just know that I have that impression from Trixie's video on the man who kept anime weird. Or is that Nakamura? I don't remember. No, I think he was talking about Showa Aikawa. Sorry, he at the time. That Trixie was talking about Showa Aikawa in that video. It's a great video. Oh. I kind of want to end the stream in a few minutes. Like 2:40, 2 hours, like 2 hours and 40 minutes, at least in terms of how long I've been going. I'm trying not to deter you from watching Series 09. I'm just saying a lot of old manga have that problem, like Kimba. Oh, of course, Kimba has that problem. I'm not too concerned about the design if the show's anti-racism. Exactly. You know, it should always really be about what the show's trying to say. Like, what are you implying here? You know. I would think the Trixie video was about Kanaka. Okay. Because I wasn't sure. Because I remember she talks about Lane as well as Neoranga. And maybe, yeah, Kanaka. Oh, you know what? I am confusing Kanaka. I am confusing him with Kanaka with Showa Aikawa. Because it would have made... yeah, never mind. I'm bad. I'm silly. I'm dumb. Dumb. My bad. Anywho, tell Mr. Wolf that Doug lives at 4 minutes. I don't know, I'm just chilling. I hope you guys had a good time. I thought it was a decent stream. A little long again, but it is what it is. Nothing hot. Not like, whoa, you know. I guess Crest was kind of ridiculous, but to be fair, Aikau has written some great stuff. It's just not all stuff is gold. Yeah, but that's fine, and that's like interesting, right? You never know what you're gonna get. It'd be one thing if it was like a guy who does nothing but hits, and then like he has something new come out. He's never written anything bad, and then it ends up being bad. That would suck. But like if it's a mixed bag, it's like, okay, we're rolling the dice here. Let's see what we got. You know, it's interesting in that way, and something to look forward to. Oh my gosh, my posture is ass. A few minutes. Yeah, I think y'all are chilling and stuff. Figure we're not doing any open read. That's fine. I'm not gonna do one like in the next 30 seconds if it doesn't come up. Go! Go! I'm watching Katakun after this. Oh yeah, the Pelican show. Let me get a visual for that. That was interesting. Don't know. I think I've listened. I remember hearing this on last week's stream. At least it sounds familiar. Katakun. Oh, it isn't Katakun Monogatari. Wait a minute. Okay, I'm not familiar with this actress. I thought it was like Ash from Pokemon. It was just like that looks familiar. Yo, this doesn't have subs. This is actually one of the raw anime I found. This is actually one of the anime that I found that like doesn't have subs, and I was like, that looks interesting, and it's just a movie. Yeah, it's a pelican. He has death rays apparently. Very epic. Looks like fun. Let's let that. Of course, you're laser focused on that one, Victor. You guys like, ooh, less than 500, dead ass. Yeah. Epic. Photo. I like this track. Anyway, I'm probably gonna head out. I'm gonna make this stream like a 2-hour, 40-minute thing. You guys have a good week. You know, I'm gonna try to do one more week. I'm gonna try to do Friday. Because Saturday I don't think I can do it. I don't have time. I have a thing happening. And then the week after I'm on vacation, and then I probably won't do another one until the next year. So this might be the last one of the year, or next week is the last one. I would hope it to be next one so we can finish the C section by the end of the year. That'd be great. Anyway, guys have a good week. Yo, peace. Yo, peace.